Than the right hash for a kicker because he can just push it right up through. Rich going for the field goal to win. Has this ever happened in Rich Rebel football? A field goal to win? Huffaker lined up. Oh boy, here we go. 4th down. Huffaker kicks it. It's up, and it is through. The Rebels win.
Rich Rebel football is on.
Jessen back looking to throw. Ball pops loose again at the Rebels hit him, and Riley Taylor is on it.
After a first-round exit in last year's playoffs, the Rebels return to the gridiron with hopes of taking it to the next level.
Huffaker takes the snap, throws deep, looking for Wilson, and he makes the catch in traffic at the 45 to the Altamont 40-yard line. Kyler Wilson.
Strap in and join us for Rich High School football on Rebel Radio KADQ FM 98.3 with live video streaming online at mylocalradio.com. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Auto Farm Chevrolet, Evanston Regional Hospital, by Plains Tire, the Come On In of Casper, by West Star Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, by Cash Honda Yamaha of Cache Valley, by the Bear Lake Convention and Visitors Bureau, and by mylocalradio.com.
Another give to Hislop. This time he's got some room across the 50, 45.
And now, Rebel football fans.
Takes the snap, keeps himself right up the gut, and Hislop just grabs his shoulder pads from behind and pushes him forward, and Huffaker gets out across the 20.
Hang up your hats, kick back, and get ready to run as we head to the field to join the play-by-play voice of the Rebels, Ryan STEINECKERT.
Good afternoon, Rebel fans, and welcome to Rich High School. Ready or not, the 2019 season begins this afternoon for the Rich Rebels and the Kanab Cowboys. Welcome to Rich Rebel football on KADQ. The Rebels and the Kanab Cowboys are out on the field warming up. It's their season opener for both of these teams here this afternoon in Randolph, Utah. And you're tuned into the Rolene Kennedy pregame show. Rolene Kennedy is Rich County's representative at Auto Farm Chevrolet in Evanston. We'll hear from Rolene, and then we'll set the scene for today's game on this broadcast of Rebel football on KDQ FM 98.3 with live video online at mylocalradio.com.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Colton Hislop. Thanks for tuning in to Rich High School football on KADQ FM 98.3 and mylocalradio.com.
In Rich County, we know that our children are our future. Helping our kids grow into kind, productive adults is a community effort. This is Rolene Kennedy, Auto Farm Chevrolet's Rich County representative, serving my neighbors for more than 20 years. My kids are Rich High School graduates. When you need a vehicle, come and see me, new or pre-owned. I'll always treat you with respect and honesty, the Rich County way. Auto Farm Chevrolet, we're a community-driven dealer. Go Rebels!
Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet pregame show, the Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show. We've got an exciting gridiron battle for you this afternoon as the Rich Rebels host the Kanab Cowboys. Rich got to host Kanab a year ago here at Rich High School, and one of just 2 wins on the season last year for Rich, a 28-14 victory over Kanab. The Rebels scored on a blocked punt return for a touchdown. Big Jaden Nelson rumbled his way in for the score. And then Landon Hunting returned a pick six, an interception for a touchdown. Those were 2 of the Rebels scores in that game. They held Kanab to just 14, and Rich won that game, their first win of the season at that time, September 29th, a year ago. Rich finished the season 2-8. They beat Altamont late in the season on a overtime field goal by Stetson Huffaker. 9-6 was the final in that game. Rich lost then in the quarterfinal round against Monticello, 41-0. And that ended the last season for the Rich Rebels. As for the Kanab Cowboys last season, a similar season for Kanab. They went just 2-9. They won early on in the season. They played close with 2A Beaver. They played close with 3A South Sevier early in the season, but struggled against 1A opponents. They beat Altamont 35-7. They beat Layton Christian 34-13. But then that next week after winning against Layton Christian, they lost to Rich versus Milford versus Parowan at Monticello, and in the first round of the playoffs at Duchesne. And a lot of those games were close losses. Lost to Milford by 16 points. They lost to Parowan by 6. Lost to Monticello by 12. Lost to Duchesne in the first round of the playoffs by just 7. A lot of close games for that Kanab Cowboys team a season ago. A team that was riddled by injuries. And Coach Bucky Orton, classy guy, he'll be the first to say, and you'll hear him in a minute, that he doesn't blame that 2-9 record last year on injuries. It certainly didn't help the team, but there were a lot of things that just didn't work out, that they didn't execute on, and we'll hear more from him on our coaches pregame show, brought to you in a moment by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. We're in the middle of the J-Bar Excavation scene set. J-Bar Excavation, the team, the tools, and the experience for your excavation project. The last time these teams met, the Rebels and the Cowboys, as I mentioned, Rich scored 1 defensive touchdown, 1 special teams touchdown. They also got a 22-yard passing touchdown from Jared Anderson to Reagan Huffner. Huffner had a rushing touchdown on the day as well from 13 yards out. And Rich didn't outgain Kanab, but they forced more turnovers. Another problem for Kanab in that game a year ago was turnovers on downs. There were 3 separate drives where Kanab drove into Rebel territory, once down to the Rebel 18, another time down to the Rebel 34, and another time down to the Rebel 28 before turning it over on downs. That Rebel bend but don't break defense last year flexed its muscles against the Kanab Cowboys and held Kanab to just the 2 scores. And that's really how Rich beat the Cowboys a year ago. A brief look at your Laketown ledger, the all-time series between these two teams. My records go back to the 2005 season. The Rebels lost 5 straight from 05 through 08, then won 2 in a row in 2013, beating Kanab at Kanab. That game where Cash Saby had 249 rushing yards, I think it was, at Kanab on Kanab's homecoming. Rich won 41-13, and then the Rebels beat Kanab in the semifinals that year as well. But since then, it was 5 consecutive losses to Kanab before last year's 28-14 win. So all-time in my Laketown ledger, the Rebels 3-10 against the Cowboys. Looking ahead to a little bit going on today, there's plenty of action tonight in 2A football. There were some games last week, and we'll cover those as well, or we'll give you some scores on those and look ahead at what's happening tonight in the rest of 2A football. But we'll take a quick break first, and we'll be back. We've got your Mound Valley Cattle Company, Where Are They Now? We'll talk with Travis Eborn, who graduated in 2002 from Rich High School. Hear from him. Where is he now? Well, we'll find out in a bit. This has been your scene set, brought to you by J-Bar Excavation, the team, the tools, and the experience for your excavation project. Stay tuned on the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show of Rich Rebel football on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Kyler Wilson with live coverage of Rich High Gridiron action on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
Every excavation project requires the professionals, the equipment, and the strategy to get the job done right. J-Bar Excavation in Randolph, Utah has the team, the tools, and the plan to execute every phase of your project to create exactly what you're looking for. They have the machinery and the experience to provide quality work that fits your schedule and your budget. Call them today, 435-793-5855. J-Bar Excavation, 90 North Main, Randolph. Welcome back to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show. Today, the Rebels open the season against 2A South opponents, the Kanab Cowboys. Now, this game has a little more meaning than it might have in past years because of the new RPI ranking system the UHSAA adopted for this school year. So a loss no longer means, in past years, a loss to Kanab on a game like today would have been, well, we lost. Let's move on. We'll learn. We'll try to improve. We'll see what we can get better at. But this year, a loss means your ranking does not go up or it stays down. So a little more meaning to today's game than we may have had in past seasons on a preseason game against a non-region but same classification opponent. We've got kickoff at 4 o'clock. That's about 34 minutes from now. But first, it's the Mound Valley Cattle Company, Eddie and Todd Jensen out of Thatcher, Idaho. Where are they now? We'll be right back to hear from Travis Eborn, a 2002 graduate of Rich High School, right after this. Welcome back to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet pregame show. Today,
Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." Eddie and Todd Jensen, owners of Mound Valley Cattle Company in Thatcher, Idaho, are proud to support the Rich High Rebels in creating their own path and leaving a trail of success in athletics and in activities, in education and in life. Serving customers in Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming since 1997. Mountain Valley Cattle Company. 208-339-0614.
We're on the Mountain Valley Cattle Company. Where are they now? Visiting with a 2002 graduate of Rich High School, Travis Aborn. Travis, thanks for your time.
You bet. Glad to be here.
Be here literally at Rich High School. You're back.
Yeah. So, I graduated in 2002, and I've been away for several. I didn't set foot in this high school from the time I graduated till this past summer, so it was a little weird to walk back in. But yeah, I'm teaching business and computer courses here at Rich High.
So we'll get to kind of what brought you back in a bit, but first tell me about your days at Rich High School. 2002 graduate, what were you involved with?
I tried to be involved with quite a bit. My freshman year was the first year that they had a golf team, which was kind of new, and we were kind of unfamiliar with the sport. And the golf team has progressed a lot since then. But as far as sports go, I did golf, and I was involved in basketball and track and football, and a few of the coaches that are still around kind of were around then as well. I really enjoyed the musical, so I was in the musical all 4 years back then, and that's something as I've gone out of Rich High, I've realized how big the musical is here. I was in student government, and I loved my days here at Rich High. And like I say, you don't realize how small it is and what opportunities exist here until you maybe go and come back. And I'm just starting to realize that now. So
some of those opportunities, the associate's degree, were there college courses available when you were around?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny. My dad was involved with concurrent enrollment a lot here at Rich High, but I was one of the first years. There were a few graduates before me, but I was one of the first dozen or so, I would say, graduates involved in the concurrent enrollment program that was able to get my associate's degree. Actually, back then, before I even got my high school diploma. So it's funny. I need to go talk to some of the kids now, but it made a big difference in my life. My wife graduated the same year that I did, and I went on a 2-year church mission, and we graduated college essentially at the same time because of my concurrent enrollment here at Rich High. So I'm a huge proponent of concurrent enrollment in college classes.
Save some money, save some time. That's fantastic. Great opportunity, as you mentioned here. You played for guys like Ashley Brown, I guess, and probably Bill Cornea, who just retired as one of the basketball coaches, some of those guys. Yeah,
absolutely. Mr. Brown came in, I think, my junior year when Mr. Holmes left, and Coach Cornea as well. Some other teachers, Mr. K was around, and Mrs. Stewart, and it's good to see some of these, I guess, veteran teachers and coaches still going strong.
What are some of the memories you have from sports and student government, anything that sticks out?
I'm trying to think. You have specific memories. Some of the activities, opening social, and that, homecoming week is always a big one, dances. And again, the musical was always right up there, and sports, in all the sports that I played. It's kind of fun to look back and just see how that's affected your life, and that's what high school is about. I think Rich High does a great job at delivering a great academic experience, but they've also, for a school this size, they have some great extracurricular opportunities as well as academic opportunities. The principal, Mr. Larson, has said. It seems like he says all the time, for a school this size, the options that we have here are just spectacular. And it's funny I taught over in Cache District for 10 years, and even over there where the district's so much bigger, there's a lot of opportunities, but there's some opportunities here that they don't even have over there in such a large district. So, again, tons of memories. I mean, it's hard to pinpoint just one, but just the high school experience in general, I guess.
Travis Aborn, 2002 graduate of Rich High School and the Mountain Valley Cattle Company. Where are they now? What were the shows that you did with Mr. Williamson and roles you had that were, bigger, or just what roles did you have?
Yeah. It's funny that I still remember these so well, so many years later. And my family was involved in the musical, and my parents loved it. And anyway, so the first year, my freshman year, we did West Side Story. And I forget the specific role I was, other than I was a shark in the movie.
If you were a jet, you'd remember, because when you're a jet all the way, right?
Right. Yeah. I had a darker complexion, I guess, so I was a shark. But anyway, and then, let's see, the next year we did Oklahoma, and I forgot the name of the guy, but he was the peddler guy in Oklahoma, and maybe that's what he was called. And then the next year we did Hello, Dolly. I was Walter Matthau. I forgot his name, too, the main guy. I forgot his name, Mr. Vanderbeek or something like that. Anyway, and then the last year we did Sound of Music, and I was the captain in that one. So I think the musical tradition has continued strong here at Rich High.
Yeah, Mr. Wood's keeping that going strong. Travis, so let's get back to now. You were in the Cache School District for 10 years. What brought you back to Rich?
Yeah, originally I graduated college with a business degree and went down to Salt Lake and worked for a big investment firm down there. I didn't love it, and I decided that teaching is something that I would do, so I got my credentials. And anyway, I've taught over in Cache District, and it's a great district over there. I've taught middle school, so that's a little different than high school. But, it comes down to we just, like me and my family, just kind of felt like this is where we should be. Nothing against where I was, or we just felt like this is a good spot to be.
You mentioned your wife earlier, your family just now. Tell me about your wife. Where'd you guys meet? Where she's from, and kids?
Yeah. So we met at Utah State, and that's where I got. Again, she got her degree there as well. And she's also a small town girl. She grew up in Sevier County. So I told her, when we go down to some of these sporting events that seem to be held in Richfield all the time, we'll have a place to stay. So she grew up in Salina, and she was even more sporty and involved in high school than I was. She went to Snow College and then up to Utah State. And we have 4 kids. So my oldest is just going into 6th grade, and we have a 3rd grader, a kindergartner, and a little guy as well, 3-year-old. So they keep us busy, and we do some construction type stuff on the side in the summers, and that we're staying busy, that's for sure.
Travis, is there anything else that we haven't touched on you'd like to talk about?
No, I don't think so. I appreciate you, I guess, getting the word out, and it's kind of a neat opportunity to talk to whoever's listening at this time. So anyway, we're just excited to be here at Rich High. We think it's a great place, and are grateful for the opportunity.
It's been a pleasure. Travis Aborn, 2002 graduate of Rich High School and the Mound Valley Cattle Company. Where are they now? Thanks so much for your time. Good luck settling in here at Rich High School, and hope things go great for you and your family.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Travis, for joining us on Where Are They Now? Brought to you by Mound Valley Cattle Company, Eddie and Todd Jensen out of Thatcher, Idaho. When we return on the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show, we'll visit with the coaches of today's teams on the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show of Rich Rebel Football on KDQ FM 98.3 with live streaming video at mylocalradio.com. We take your fun very seriously. That's why we put so much emphasis on training and experience with our mechanics at Cache Honda Yamaha. Whether you're getting it ready for an upcoming season, putting it away for the winter, having routine maintenance, or have a mechanical problem, we want to make sure that when you're ready to have fun with it, it's ready for you. Don't trust your fun to just anyone. Make sure you bring all your service work to Cache Honda Yamaha in Cache Valley. As one of the region's most visited websites, mylocalradio.com is here to serve you. Catch up on local and regional news and information. Buy, sell, or trade your good used items on the radio classifieds. Stream your favorite music all day, every day, or catch our live coverage of your high school teams in action, all on mylocalradio.com. Like us on Facebook so you never miss a giveaway, and visit mylocalradio.com today to stream it all live.
Tuned in to Rich High Rebel Football on KADQ 98.3 and mylocalradio.com. This is Rebel coach Justin Grohl on the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. Stay tuned in. Kickoff is just 20 minutes away here on KADQ.
Welcome to the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. The last time these teams met, it was homecoming September of last year, and the Rebels came away with a 28-14 victory. Rich scored 1 touchdown on a pick 6 and another one on special teams, plus their defense had a pretty good game as well. They may need a similar performance to beat the Cowboys here this afternoon in Randolph. No one sees the game the way the coaches do, so we'll take a few minutes to visit with opposing coach Bucky Orton, and then we'll talk to Rebel head coach Justin Grohl and get his thoughts on today's game. We'll be back after this from Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Count on us to care. On this broadcast of Rich Rebel Football and the Wildlife with live streaming video at mylocalradio.com.
Go Rebels!
More than 1,300 rural hospitals were evaluated, and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital placed in the top 20 for quality and best practices and critical access. offering a 24-hour emergency department, orthopedics, home health, a residential nursing home, physical therapy, surgical services, family doctors, chemotherapy, dialysis, and more. When it comes to your health, make sure you're seen by the best. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care. Ryan Steineckert with Bucky Orton of the Kanab Cowboys. Coach, as always, thanks for your time.
No problem, Ryan. My pleasure.
How was it that you guys got the privilege to drive up here 2 years in a row?
Well, we just love Rich County. Look around. I mean, it's beautiful up here. We actually, we needed a preseason game, and it just worked out. And Justin and I thought it would be a good matchup for both our programs. And so, I don't know why we ended up coming up here 2 years in a row, but I think when we looked at our home and away schedules, that was kind of the best way to do it. So that's just the way it worked out, and we'll see you guys down in Kanab next year, but it should be a fun day for football.
Let's talk a little bit about last year. Some injuries kind of derailed your season. Is that accurate?
Yes and no. I mean, we had some injuries, and I don't want to make too much of injuries because, you always have them. We've been unfortunate with injuries for sure, but we come up here and got thumped last year, so that's the bottom line. And so I don't think our kids were ready to play, and Rich was, and that was the way it shook out. And so hopefully our kids will at least learn from that they got to show up ready to play every game. And like I said, this is a new year for both teams, and should be a good competitive battle. Both programs have strong histories, and so it should be fun.
You guys, a lot of games last year that you lost were real close, so losing by one touchdown or less.
Yeah, that was probably the toughest part of last season. Is we had a hard time finishing games. Sometimes we'd start fast and then fail to finish, and other times we would actually kind of start slow and then we'd finish strong. But we just, for some reason or another, couldn't get over the hump last year. So a lot of it was, we were installing a new system on offense and defense last year. So there was some learning there. As coaches, we could have done a better job, I'm sure. But this year we feel a little more confident, with our schemes, and we got a few more seniors than we had last year, and so hopefully that will help. We got a good senior class that's been together for a long time, and we're looking forward to seeing what they can do on the field.
Tell me more about the experience you bring back for guys that played some varsity time last year.
Yeah, we've got experience on both sides of the ball. We lost Sam, our quarterback, I think about week 4 last year, and that really kind of stagnated. It hurt our offense a little bit, but he's back for his senior year. We've got Kyle Blomquist and Clay Shakespeare and Carter Jackman and Jace Reedhead. I know I'm missing a few. Justice Tate. So we got several seniors that are coming back that either started last year or had significant playing time as juniors. So there's really no excuses this year for guys to be out of place from a scheme perspective. So now it's just going to come down to just whether or not we can execute.
Jumping up to 2A, of course, Rich has to deal with the same thing. So does Duchesne and Milford and a few others. What is that like for you guys going to be this year?
Well, like you said, I think you touched on it. It's going to be hard for all of us that we're down. I think the level of competition is just better week in, week out. The depth is really a big concern. I mean, you guys and us will experience that. You probably more than probably anyone, and maybe Monticello. But the depth is really hard. It's hard to play 4 quarters when teams are running guys in and off the field. So you got to be smart with the tempo of the game, and you got to hope that you stay injury free. And it's going to be difficult. The competition will be good, and it's fun. It's challenging. And so I'm hoping that our kids will rise to that challenge. That's the way we've presented as a coaching staff, is let's rise up to the challenge. We weren't very good in 1A, so let's see if we can step it up and be a good, solid team in 2A. And so we're looking forward to it, but it's going to be hard for sure.
Preparing to play Rich today, how much did you work on what you think Rich might do versus preparing for yourself and what you need to execute?
Honestly, we didn't spend a lot of time preparing for Rich, and that's not out of any disrespect. That's just the nature of being the first game of the season. Trying to get guys in the right place is a full-time job. So not that we didn't spend time, and we didn't watch film, and we didn't give ourselves some opportunities to go against Rich's schemes, but we mainly focused on us, and I'm pretty sure that that's kind of what most coaches do before this first game, is try to get your stuff in, and then now we'll start doing a little more preparation for our opponents. After this first week, we kind of know what we need to work on. Coach, is there anything else you want to touch on? No, Ryan, just looking forward to a great day. Love it up here. It's a beautiful country, and you guys are always great hosts, so thank you. Coach Bucky Orton, thanks so much for your time. I'm glad to have you up here again, and good luck today and the rest of the season. Thank you. You too, Ryan. Thanks, Coach Orton. We're only about 15 minutes away from kickoff and today's action. You're tuned into the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. Coming up on the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show, we'll visit with Rebel head coach Justin Grohl on Rich Rebel football here on Rebel Radio and online at mylocalradio.com.
If you had a toothache, would you see a foot doctor? Or would you go to the dermatologist to have a baby? Of course not. When your vehicle needs service, take it to the best qualified mechanics. At Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet, our technicians are GM-certified service experts. They're trained to know every inch of your vehicle. Don't trust your vehicle to just anyone. Have all your service done at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet, 624 Front Street, Evanston. We're a different kind of dealer.
Business cards are a powerful and inexpensive way to promote the goods and services you offer. You can design your own cards or have the professionals at West Star Printing design your business cards. Now with same-day and next-day turnaround on all business card printing, you don't have to wait. Get your business cards today. Professional quality, inexpensive prices, and quick turnaround. Visit West Star Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston, across from the library. West Star Printing, 307-789-5202.
Welcome back to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show. We're in the middle of the Coaches Show, brought to you by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Count on us to care. Many of the teams in Utah high school football began their season last week. Milford laid a beatdown on South Summit. Parowan won huge over Layton Christian. Duchesne beat Enterprise in a close game. The Rebels and the Cowboys, who meet today at Rich High School, have not played yet this year. It's the season opener for both these squads. We've got kickoff in just a few minutes, but first, we'll be right back with Rebel head coach Justin Grohl on KADQ and mylocalradio.com. More than 1,300 rural hospitals were evaluated, and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital placed in the top 20 for quality and best practices and critical access. Offering a 24-hour emergency department, orthopedics, home health, a residential nursing home, physical therapy, surgical services, family doctors, chemotherapy, dialysis, and more. When it comes to your health, make sure you're seen by the best. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care. When you enter the city limits of the town of Woodruff, the sign welcomes you to a place with the coldest temps and the warmest hearts. Settled in 1870, we celebrate the values of kindness, compassion, and friendliness, knowing a community's greatness may best be measured by the compassionate actions of its members. Mayor Scott Sabian, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Kent Stewart, and Jason Peterson, with Secretary Lisa Bell, welcome you and say, Go Rich Rebels! Ryan Steineckert with Justin Grohl of the Rich Rebel football team. Coach, ready for another year?
Yeah, we're looking forward to it, and we're ready to get going.
Let's recap last year a little bit. A couple of wins. You ended up second place in the 1A North, and then lost pretty badly to Monticello in the first round of the playoffs. So thoughts on last year, how you guys performed, things like that?
We were in quite a few games, and we just didn't kind of complete everything. We just needed to complete things towards the end. In the last game, it was kind of disappointing, but we had a lot of injuries, a lot of youth, so you take it and go and hopefully build from it.
Half of that's already true this year. A lot of youth, a young team.
Yeah, we're very young again this year. We'll probably start 6 or 7 sophomores between the two. Then you're going to look at mostly juniors where our numbers are down, so we're going to be young.
You've got some experience coming back in the quarterback position, right? I assume the plan is to start Stetson Huffaker at quarterback?
Yeah, he's going to start, and we got a pretty good backup that's learning, and that he's young, but he throws the ball really well and stuff. So we should be okay there. We should be pretty good at a running back, and the line they're young for the most part. They're young, but they're growing their size. We got a couple of seniors on there to kind of balance it out, to help us out, and a couple of juniors. So we'll be okay there. We'll have some good. It's kind of like our starting's okay. Just we need a couple more to keep plugging them in, because seems like you always get an injury or two, and we just need to, if you could get too deep, then you'd be good.
Now, tell me to zip it if I'm wrong here, but, Coach, it seems like with what you want to run, you've got to have guys in sync with each other. Quarterback, running backs, the timing has to be there, the receivers and things like that. And with a year under your belt plus some camps this summer, are your expectations for the offense to be a little more in sync, a little sharper this year? Are the expectations higher?
Yeah, we kind of tweaked the offense a little bit, so right now they're trying to get used to it a little bit more. It's a lot similar than it was to what it was last year. So they're learning. Big key is actually in sync and catching the ball, for passes and stuff. That's what kind of hurt us a little bit last year was we would do really well at running and that, and then when we throw it, we'd miss or, our completion was not as good as we would have hoped.
Now, one of the keys is always going to be the line play, right? Offensive and defensive line, and you touched on depth, I think, already. Was that referring to offensive and defensive lines as well, or how do you look there?
Yeah, we'll be okay. We've got some, like I said, we got some youth and that they're going to get some good experience. I hope the older kids will stay focused and keep them together, and if we do that, we'll get better every week, and we should be okay. I don't have as many kids this year as I did last year, so we have to rearrange a few things. But what we do have, we should be okay with what we're doing.
Your team's best performance last year, arguably, when you beat Kanab here last year. You get Kanab at home again. That's a plus. You don't have to travel to their place. But what do you know about the Cowboys and what you expect in the game against them this Friday?
Kanab always comes out really, really good. I expect they'll be top and ready. Bucky always does a great job in getting his kids ready. It's first game. They'll kind of have some jitters and a few things that they need to work out as well. They'll be fresh. We kind of caught them last year where they had a few hurt, and I think that helped us quite a bit. They'll be fresh, and they'll be able to keep going, and so it'll be a good game. We'll work on some things, and I hope that we can come out with a win.
They're not in the 2A North, so it's not a region game, but it's still a classification game, one you want to get a win in.
Yeah, we have a couple of crossover games so that if there's a tie or something, they can look at those, and this is one of them. And it's good that we know what that region and that side of the bracket will be like coming out of it and how to prepare for it for the end.
Also, with the new RPI system, a loss, immediately you're already playing with your back against the wall.
Yeah, it's one of those interesting new tools that they look at, and I'm excited and kind of scared to see how it all plays out.
Coach, anything else you want to touch on?
No, I think that's it. Thank you.
Justin Grohl, the Rich Rebel football team, thanks so much for your time. Good luck with Kanab.
Thank you.
This has been the Coaches Show, brought to you by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Count on us to care. We're down to crunch time as this thing kicks off in less than 10 minutes. You're tuned in to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show of Rich Rebel football on KADQ FM 98.3 with live streaming video online at mylocalradio.com.
If you want your truck to really catch the eye, have the professionals at Plains Tire in Evanston install a custom lift kit with new tires and wheels. We've got a huge selection to choose from, so no matter what your style is, we've got the tires and wheels to make you smile. The way your truck looks reflects on you. Get the reflection you want with a lift kit, new tires, and wheels from Plains Tire in Evanston, the tire professionals. 157 Bear River Drive. Stop in today.
Super kids deserve super care. Experience the difference with board-certified pediatricians Alan Brown, MD, and Bird Gilmartin, MD, at Uinta Medical Group. Whether it's tracking your child's overall health at Well Child Checks or helping your little ones feel better when they're sick, Dr. Brown and Dr. Gilmartin are here to help your child grow, learn, and thrive. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Brown or Dr. Gilmartin by calling 307-789-WELL 9355 or visit evanstonanytime.com.
Whether you're kicking up dust in the hills, making waves down on the lake, or taking advantage of the world's greatest powder, don't just hope to have fun. Take that sled by the handlebars and make your time at Bear Lake epic. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at beautiful Bear Lake. From watercraft large and small to UTVs, sleds, and more, Epic Recreation has it all to go on-road, off-road, or out on the Caribbean blue water. Book your adventure at epicrecreation.net.
afternoon. Welcome back to Rich High School. A little bit of a breeze this afternoon here in Randolph. We'll get to a little bit more detail on that in a moment. The Town and Country Realty green scene. But first, let's take a deeper look at the town of Lake Town Ledger. It's the Lake Town Ledger. Good luck, Rebels, from the mayor and town council of Lake Town. The Rebels and the Kanab Cowboys since 2005 have met 13 times. Cowboys had won 5 in a row to start from 2005 through 08. Rebels took a couple of games in 2013 in the regular season and then in the semifinals as well. 5 in a row for Kanab from 2014 through 2017, including a semifinal win over the Rebels in 2016. But then last year, the Rebels with that 28-14 win over Kanab. It was a dominant performance. The Rebels probably their best all-round overall game of the season, a 28-14 win over Kanab. That was on homecoming, so Rich will have a different homecoming opponent, obviously, this year. So overall in the series, again, I know the games go back prior to 2005, but that's as far as my records go back with Kanab, and I believe that's the extent of the history between these two teams. The Rebels with 3 wins, Kanab with 10. In that 13-game series between Rich and Kanab. So it's not been – there's not a lot of teams. If you look at who Rich has played most or had a lot of games against, like consider Altamont. The Rebels lead 32-9 in that series. Duchesne is pretty even. Monticello, the Rebels have 17 wins to 10 losses. Kanab is one of the few teams that the Rebels have lost to more than they have beat. And, again, a 3-10 record on your Town of Lake Town Ledger. Moving along to the, let's see, what's next? The Town and Country Realty green scene. A nice afternoon here in Randolph. Wind blowing out of the west toward the Crawford Mountains to our east. Current temperature here, looking for a temperature at kickoff right around 78 degrees. A nice afternoon here in Kanab. Coach Bucky Orton mentioned the beautiful day. Blue skies, a few clouds around to the north and some to the south, some back behind us to the west, but a beautiful afternoon. A small group of Kanab fans out on the far sideline. Kanab today will be in the visiting whites, white helmet with the red cowboy on the helmet and red numbers. Rebels will be in the home blues with the blue helmets and white, big, bold white numbers. And, again, a beautiful afternoon here in Randolph for the kickoff of the 2019 season. That's your green scene brought to you by Town and Country Realty. And that's Pam Cornea with Town and Country Realty. They can help you out in Bear Lake if you're looking. They sell Bear Lake if you're looking for real estate in the Bear Lake area. Work with Town and Country Realty. Moving along to the Epic Recreation keys of the game. Epic Recreation, make your vacation an epic one to remember. And if you're watching online at mylocalradio.com, you see the 3 keys. 1, shake out the jitters. 2, show up today. And 3, win the turnover battle. Number 1, shake out the jitters. Early season games more often than not include a few extra penalties, an extra breakdown or 2 in assignments, sometimes a couple extra turnovers. The type of thing we often chalk up to the jitters or working out the kinks. Problem is, too many errors, and to quote the kinks, you really got me. And with the new RPI ranking system the UHSAA adopted this year, the fact that today's matchup is a non-region game doesn't mean a thing. The RPI weighs all regular season games equally. So a loss today means an immediate hit to the RPI. That adds additional weight to every game with extra importance on defending the home field. That's what the Rebels have today. It's a non-region home field game. One big way to take care of business today, start focused, start strong, and shake out those early season jitters. Number 2, show up today. Last year on homecoming, the Rebels scored on a blocked punt and on a pick 6, and maybe just as importantly, kept the Cowboys out of the end zone. 3 Kanab drives ended in Rebel territory with turnovers on downs. Now, don't bend is best, but Kanab's offense is typically too good to expect that. If the Rebels can repeat last year's defensive performance and bend but not break, they should be able to keep it close. To make all that happen, Rich has to show up today and win the turnover battle. The Rebels went 2-8 last season. Now, this is interesting. In those 8 losses, the Rich was a minus 15 in the turnover battle, meaning they turned it over 15 more times than they took it away. Now, that includes turnovers on downs. In the 2 wins last season, we see a huge swing. The Rebels posted a +4 turnover margin in those 2 victories, again, including turnovers on downs. Against the Cowboys last year, Rich intercepted 2 passes, forced 3 turnovers on downs as well. More possessions means more opportunities to score and fewer chances for the opponent. So to stay in today's game, the Rebels must win the turnover battle. Those are your keys to the game, brought to you by Epic Recreation. Visit epicrecreation.net. Find them on Facebook to make your vacation epic. Coin toss taking place at midfield. We'll keep an eye on that here for a moment and look toward your starting lineups coming up in just a bit as well. Stetson Huffaker, Colton Hislop, Kyler Wilson, and Corgan Conk, the Rebel captains out at midfield. I talked to Corgan earlier this week. I said, what position do you play on offense? He said, nope, just defense. Don't get a lot of that. I mean, you get guys that maybe just start or play primarily on defense, but Corgan says, no, I don't play offense. I just play defense. So we'll get the coin toss here in a second. Once we get the result of that, we'll take one more quick break and have your starting lineups and the Crawford Trough first quarter coming up in just a bit. This pregame show is brought to you by Rolene Kennedy, Rich County's representative at Auto Farm Chevrolet. Bringing in today, we're training a new play-by-play man, ELAN OLLIFF. ELAN will be the play-by-play man for the Evanston Red Devils, and joining me today to work with the broadcast. Red Devils don't start their football season for a week or so. Another couple weeks, right?
Yeah, we don't start till September 6th when we'll be making the trip down to Rollins, so that'll be a great game right there.
So ELAN will be joining us today on the broadcast as you've done quite a bit of research this week looking into Kanab, which looked like they won the toss. Anything that really stood out to you this week as you thought about and prepared for today's game?
Well, the number one thing that kind of stood out is the fact that they did lose their starting quarterback, and their starting quarterback today, Sam Orton, fairly early in the season. And as we've heard from Coach, he really believes in this kid. He can be a big difference maker for the Cowboys. It'll be very interesting to see how he starts the season off today.
Sam Orton started the season as the starting quarterback last year, was injured, as ELAN said, and changed their offense quite a bit. The Kanab Cowboys will receive the opening kickoff. We're about a minute and a half away from that, and we'll take a quick break. We've got your starting lineups when we return, and then the Crawford Trough first quarter right after this.
Early Oregon-bound immigrants traveled through the Bear Lake Valley. U.S. Highway 30 basically follows the Oregon Trail. Many wagon trains stopped at Thomas L. Pegleg Smith Trading Post, located near Dingle, Idaho, for supplies. One traveler wrote of camping along Cotton Line Bear River, watching grass as tall as a man wave in the wind. Today, you don't have to ride in a wagon to visit Bear Lake Valley, but the rich history is still here to enjoy. Visit bearlake.org for more information.
In Rich County, we know that our children are our future. Helping our kids grow into kind, productive adults is a community effort.
Early Oregon-bound immigrants traveled through the Bear Lake Valley. U.S. Highway 30 basically follows the Oregon Trail. Many wagon trains stopped at Thomas L. Pegleg Smith Trading Post, located near Dingle, Idaho, for supplies. One traveler wrote of camping along Cotton Line Bear River, watching grass as tall as a man wave in the wind. Today, you don't have to ride in a wagon to visit Bear Lake Valley, but the rich history is still here to enjoy. Visit bearlake.org for more information.
In Rich County, we know that our children are our future. Helping our kids grow into kind, productive adults is a community effort. This is Rolene Kennedy, Auto Farm Chevrolet's Rich County representative, serving my neighbors for more than 20 years. My kids are Rich High School graduates. When you need a vehicle, come and see me, new or pre-owned. I'll always treat you with respect and honesty, the Rich County way. Auto Farm Chevrolet, we're a community-driven dealer. Go Rebels!
The best live coverage of local sports, weather, local news, and radio classifieds, plus online streaming music, giveaways, and more. It's all on mylocalradio.com. Watch as your high school teams clash with their biggest rivals. Listen to the latest from your team's coaches. Catch up on local and regional news and stream your favorite music. Visit mylocalradio.com. Like us on Facebook and stream it all live.
Super kids deserve super care. Experience the difference with board-certified pediatricians Alan Brown, MD, and Bird Gilmartin, MD, at Uinta Medical Group. Whether it's tracking your child's overall health at well child checks or helping your little ones feel better when they're sick, Dr. Brown and Dr. Gilmartin are here to help your child grow, learn, and thrive. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Brown or Dr. Gilmartin by calling 307-789-WELL 9355 or visit evanstonanytime.com.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Rich High School. Kickoff just moments away. The Bear Lake Physical Therapy kickoff. Let's take a quick look at the starters. Kanab will receive, so we'll give you their offense first. Up front on the line, junior Cade Szymanski, number 53, is a left tackle. From left tackle to right tackle, left guard is number 67, junior Bradley Haycock. Center, number 70, senior Clark Ray. Right guard, number 69, senior Justice Waters Tate. And right tackle, number 73, senior Jace Reedhead. Tight end is number 20, Clay Shakespeare, a senior. Wide receiver, number 32, Carter Jackman, a senior. Quarterback, as we mentioned, number 22, a senior Sam Orton. Wingback, number 17, senior Kyle Blomquist. Fullback is number 15, junior Michael Warino. And halfback, number 10, senior Trey Chatterley. Those are your starters for the Kanab offense. The Rebel defense, up on the front line, the junior Riley Taylor, D-end, along with Riley Carrillo on the other side, the two Rileys on the ends. Defensive tackles are number 72, junior Colton Johnson, and number 21, junior Jaden Rao. Linebackers, a junior Jaden Grohl, senior Stetson Huffaker, senior Colton Hislop, and senior Corgan Conk. We'll give you the other three in a moment as we have your opening whistle on the Bear Lake Physical Therapy kickoff. Huffaker, a nice high kick, fielded at the 7. Up to the 15, to the 20 on the right sideline. That's his near sideline. And a decent return by Trey Chatterley out to about the 27-yard line is where Kanab will start this first drive. Elan, why don't you give us the other three defenders on the Rich defense, the defensive backfield, cornerbacks and safeties.
So at cornerback, we got Kyler Wilson, number 20, the senior. On the other side, we have Hayden Meek, number 8, and the junior, and then free safety, senior Flint Silva.
First quarter just underway, the 2019 football season. Rebels hosting Kanab, the Cowboys on the right hash. We'll take a look at some 2A games from a week ago as well. As we get things going, the Rebels on defense defending the south end zone. Orton under center with 2 in the backfield. Blomquist in motion, give up the gut and trying for a Le'Veon Bell-style patient run, but with nowhere to go is Michael Warino, no gain.
Good pressure there from the Rebels to kind of start that thing off. They're kind of starting to show a little bit of that bend, but don't break type thing, not giving up much yardage on the play.
1 yard there. A second down and 9 for the Kanab offense. Kanab not in action last week. Duchesne beat Enterprise by a touchdown. Parowan destroyed Layton Christian 58-0 last Friday night. Orton again under center, man wide out to the left side. Blomquist again in motion. A little counter play, and the give spinning forward is Trey Chatterley out to the 35-yard line, a couple yards short of the first down.
Senior Colton Hislop on the stop there for Rich.
Monticello beat Monument Valley handily 41-6. North Summit shut out Uinta 28-0. Beaver destroyed Canyon View 60-7. Milford hammered South Summit 38-9. Millard beat Emory 20-7. And North Sevier over South Sevier 23-7. It was a good week for 2A football last week.
And, of course, you got to mention the game that we saw last Friday, an absolute beauty of a game played by the defense of Milford.
3rd down and 2. Kanab on this near side hash. Give right up the gut. Second effort, pushing forward, breaks a tackle and just tripped up by Stetson Huffaker. A touchdown-saving tackle as Warino broke into the open and was tripped up at the 45, first down.
Coach Orton spoke very highly of Warino, saying he's the kind of guy that's the heartbeat of our team. And to be honest with you, when he's going, it seems like the rest of the team follows him. If that's true, then that run right there is a very good sign for the Kanab Cowboys early in this game.
A first down for the Cowboys at their own 45. Almost 2 minutes gone by. First quarter brought to you by the Crawford Trough, open after every Rebel home game. The place to eat and drink in Randolph. Wide out to the left goes Drew Hafen. Orton takes the snap, Give one way, back the other way. Kyle Blomquist has it. He breaks a tackle. He's got first down yardage to the Rebel 45, maybe just shy of the first.
Kyler Wilson in there on the stop, the cornerback. Keeping the yardage under control, and it looks like they barely didn't get that first down.
A 6-yard gain to the Rebel, or a 9-yard gain to the Rebel 46. I mentioned Drew Hafen, his dad, Arlen Hafen, the all-time, or maybe grandpa, I guess it was, wasn't it? It was Arlen Hafen. The field in Kanab is named after Arlen Hafen. He has more wins than any other Kanab high school football coach. Bucky Orton is second, about 100 wins behind. Orton under center, back his first passing attempt of the game, deep down the left sideline. He's got his man a little too far to the outside, but that's right where the coach wants that throw to go, where only his guy could have a chance to catch it.
Beautiful throw there by Orton. Good job to kind of test that passing game out. Of course, they didn't get the completion, but like we talked about earlier, this is going to be a lot of working out the kinks and trying to get things rolling.
That's the time to take a shot on a 2nd and 1. That leaves them with still a 3rd down and very short after the incompletion.
At 3rd and 1, big number 15, Michael Warino in the backfield. He's the fullback, and he was the one who got the big game. Keep an eye on him.
Blomquist, the wingback on the right side. Give to Warino, and he is stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. Got about a half a yard, and Kanab will be short of the line to gain.
Quarterback Stetson Huffaker in there on the stop. Really, the whole Rich defense in there on the stop.
And Warino shooken up, a little slow to get up, rattles his head as he comes up off the turf. A 4th down and about a half a yard to go. Kanab, no hesitation, looking to go for it here in Rebel territory at the 46-yard line. Watch out for the long count here. Warino, the fullback, to his left, Trey Chatterley. And Kyle Blomquist, the wingback on the right side. Ball right in the middle of the field. Rebels showing pressure. It gets there. Throw over the top. Clay Shakespeare has it. He's off to the races to the 10-5. Touchdown on a 4th and 1. Kanab goes play action and scores a 46-yard touchdown pass and catch.
That was a perfect play executed there by Orton. He found his man wide open in an easy catch and run for Shakespeare.
46 yards. Shakespeare had 1 touchdown reception last year as a junior. Sam Orton had 5 touchdown passes, 6 interceptions before going down with an injury early in the season. And Kanab, 7 plays on that drive. They'll attempt the extra point here with 8:27 left in the first quarter. Kick is up. It is good. And Kanab leads 7-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. We'll take a quick break and be back as the Rebels receive the kickoff right after this. What could be better than a fresh, mouth-watering burger from the Crawford Trough in Randolph? Top it with cheese and thick-cut bacon, or throw in some mushrooms and make it a double. Now we're talking. Add home-cut fries and a creamy shake, and you might just think you're in paradise. With crisp salads and tasty wraps, plus onion rings, perfectly cooked chicken, cold drinks, and silky smooth ice cream, the Crawford Trough is the place to eat and drink at 120 South Main in Randolph. Welcome back. Kanab with a 7-play, 73-yard drive. The extra point good. They took 3 minutes, 33 seconds off the clock and lead 7-0. We'll pause just a few seconds for station identification.
You're tuned in to Rich Rebel Sports on KADQ Evanston.
7-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Ryan Steineckert here with Elan OLLIFF. Elan, the play-by-play man, what would you say? Newly knighted. Play-by-play man of the Evanston Red Devils. You can catch the Red Devil games on KNYN 99.1 FM, our sister station, and watch them live on mylocalradio.com. Get started next week with volleyball.
Yeah, volleyball. We're actually going to be taking on Rich at the Cokeville Invitational, so that'll be a nice little friendly rivalry game between Ryan and myself. That gets started around 8 o'clock. That is the JV time, so that'll probably mean the game will start around 8:45, 8:50, somewhere around there.
Next Friday morning. Bradley Haycock kicks deep for Kanab. Rebels field it at about the 10 on a run to the 20. Runs into his own man to the 25, to the 30 almost before he's hammered down. Colton Hislop on the return. a decent return, and Rich will have decent field position from about its own 29.
Hislop definitely showing some physicality in there. He had at least one guy that I saw literally bounce off of him. So now we'll see how Rich can respond here, as we're going to see Stetson Huffaker come out for the first time this year with the Rich offense.
A 20-yard return by Colton Hislop. And they spot it just inside the 30-yard line. Ball on the right hash. Rebels attacking right to left at mylocalradio.com. That's south to north here at Rich High School. Grohl in motion. High snap to Huffaker. Breaks one tackle. Lowers the shoulder. Pitch man was open, but Huffaker did not have a time to make that pitch safely. He did the smart thing. Just tuck it and hold on and get what he could.
Defensive tackle Bradley Haycock in on the hit for the Cowboys.
Loss of a yard back to the 29-yard line. Second down and 11 for the Rebel offense. Kanab leads 7-0. They took their opening drive down to the Rebel 46. A 4th and 1 play action pass over the top to Clay Shakespeare resulted in a 46-yard touchdown pass. And Kanab leads 7-0. 2 receivers right, 2 wide left. Meek in motion, give up the middle. Hislop tripped up. He had a hole on the left side but couldn't quite get to it. Penetration into the backfield, nowhere to go.
Another time for Bradley Haycock, except this time he was the lone man who just found the gap and literally shot through it like a bullet out of a gun.
No gain on the play, and that Haycock on the right side of the line just creating havoc. And, well, it was interesting because that hole where Hislop was trying to get to, it was a big hole.
Yeah, and I mean, Haycock is not a small guy. He kind of just used that speed, that power to clog up that hole, and it looked like Haycock or Hislop was going to go for a while.
Trips to the right side. Flint Silva alone on the left. Huffaker, a high snap, bobbles it, pulls it in, throws to the right side. Kyler Wilson makes the catch back at the 20. He's immediately wrapped up and brought down. No gain. A loss of 8 or 9 on the play. He stretched out at the last second to get it almost back to the 22.
Looks like freshman Brady Clarkson was the man that made the play there to stop him in the back, and it looks like the Rebels are going to have to punt it away.
So a loss of 7 brings up a 4th down and 17 yards to go. 18 yards to go for the Rebels. And a timeout Kanab with 6:21 left here in this first quarter. Teams head for the sidelines. We'll take a quick break and be right back. 7-0 Kanab on the station in Randolph, station on main scoreboard.
No matter what you need to have printed, Westar Printing is the place you want to have it done. Calendars, letterhead, envelopes, brochures, books, posters, vinyl banners, business forms, announcements, wedding invitations, and business cards are just a few examples. You can also have your favorite family photos printed on canvas or placed into a personalized family photo calendar. You will want to do business with Westar Printing. Stop in today. Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston.
7-0 Kanab. The Rebels' first possession goes 3 and out. They went backwards 8 yards. Couldn't find running room. And Rich will punt it away. Huffaker back at his own 10 to receive the snap. Gets the punt off. A nice line drive spiral punt fielded at the 35. Running to his left. A flag flies. A lot of room for Carter Jackman around the corner to the 40, down the sideline to the 35. Sidesteps a man to the 25 before he's hit out of bounds. And another Rebel complaining of a block in the back, but a flag down at the 50 will bring that big return back. First quarter, 6:07 left in this first quarter. Brought to you by the Crawford Trough, the place to eat and drink in Randolph. We had 2 or 3 different officials indicating what the penalty was. Whitecap says bring that football back. Walk it off from the 50-yard line. So Kanab will start. Oh, they'll spot it actually at the 45. The punt was fielded by Jackman at about the 36. So because of where the penalty took place, they'll start even further back from where he actually fielded the punt.
And it looks like it will be a block in the back on the Cowboys. So Rich gets what they were wanting there.
Boy, a costly penalty. If you can say, I mean, it's just they walk off the 10 yards, but if you consider the return went down to about the Rebel 25, that's really about a 40-yard penalty.
And once again, that's kind of something we expect to see in a first game of the season, is something just kind of a fundamental thing like that.
Orton under center. Different fullback behind him, and the give is to that different man. He's tripped up immediately. Number 41, Jay Seeley, a senior with this Kanab Cowboys team. Short gain of 2.
So Kanab going to come out and try to see if they can grind another big possession out of there, and then maybe see if they can get him to bite on another run like that.
Seeley heads to the sideline, and Warino checks back in. 3 carries, 12 yards. Warino, the leading ball carrier so far today. A 2nd down and 8. Kanab lineman pointing out who they're going to block. Put a hand on the ground. Orton back to throw, deep down the left sideline, and pass overthrown. Good coverage by Hayden Meeks, running step for step with the intended receiver.
Drew Hafen, the intended receiver, the big tight end for the Cowboys. Junior.
Hafen, is he listed as a tight end on the roster?
Running back linebacker. Sorry.
No, it's funny because he
was lined up as a tight end.
Out wide on the left. Drew Hafen, the intended receiver. A 3rd down and 8 for the Kanab offense. Kanab leads 7-0. Clock stopped after that incompletion at 5:24 left in the first. Orton out, rolling to his left, throws. It's tipped. He was looking for Clay Shakespeare again, and it was a bit high. He had Warino wide open about 5 yards downfield, but he went for the deeper man, and it went incomplete.
Well, it looked like he was trying to hit number 32, Carter Jackman, as well, but Shakespeare kind of stepped in line to get it, and then it bounces off of Shakespeare's hand, and that'll bring it up 4th down.
Kanab in what's likely a punting situation. It looks like Bradley Haycock does the kickoff, the PAT, and the punting duties.
It's a lot of special teams work.
And the Rebels will send Meek and Flint Silva. Hayden Meek and Flint Silva back to return the punt.
Ooh.
The punt goes over Haycock's head. It rolls back to the 5. Rebels have all kinds of guys there, and they'll bring Haycock down by the helmet at the 2. So instead of a 1st and goal at the 2, it'll be a 1st and 10 out around the 17, but still Rebel football in great field position.
And that was a big momentum swinging play right there. Good job. Like we talked about before the game, you got to take advantage of those opportunities as they present themselves. High snap goes deep. They immediately apply the pressure, and then that'll go.
So Rich will take over deep in Kanab territory. Games tonight in 2A football. Duchesne's at Parowan. That ought to be a good one. Milford at Gunnison. Layton Christian at White Pines, Nevada. North Summit at South Summit, the Summit County rivalry. They'll take it clear back out to the 16-yard line on the penalty.
And after a 15-yard penalty, that means they had it at the 1.
So Rich will start at the Kanab 16. Also tonight, Beavers hosting Delta Enterprise at South Sevier, Millard versus Judge Memorial, and North Sevier versus Richfield. And Coach Justin Grohl takes a timeout. We'll keep it right here. And we've got 5:10 left in this first quarter, brought to you by the Crawford Trough. Open after every Rebel home game. It's the place to eat and drink. And so far the start, ELAN, Rebel offensive, I'm interested to see what kind of adjustments we see on the second drive, because that first drive, a missed assignment or two just blew everything up.
Well, and with how close they are to scoring, it wouldn't surprise me if they tried to spread it out a little bit. They do run that spread offense, so it would not surprise me if they do try to maybe go through the air, try to mix things up a little bit. That first drive was kind of a what you see is what you get, so we'll hopefully see some adjustments. Hopefully we see a tie ball game here real soon.
7-0 Kanab. They scored on their opening drive of the game, 7 plays, 73 yards, a 46-yard touchdown pass from Sam Orton to Clay Shakespeare. That was on a 4th and about a half yard. They ran a play fake, and Shakespeare, tight end, just over the top, wide open. So Rich will spread it out, as ELAN suggested. Trips to the right side. Flint Silva alone wide left. And looks like Hislop and Huffaker in the backfield. The officials holding a conference at midfield. We'll invite you to stay tuned for our second quarter. And then, of course, halftime show will be brought to you by Ellingford Brothers. We'll have some Rich County government first half highlights. And the Town of Woodruff standout student today is Whitney Story, a senior at Rich High School. We'll hear from Whitney about Cheer Squad, a little bit about the Rich Rodeo Club, and about Whitney's senior year. That's coming up in our Standout student brought to you by the town of Woodruff during halftime. Well, the officials still discussing.
I think they're giving Kanab the option not to take the penalty.
There's a face mask penalty. Oh, so are they saying replay the down?
So that would be the replay a punt.
After the penalty, so they would punt it again or have the chance to punt it again? That makes sense. Dale Lamborn just said they got to move the chains back. They've got the Rebels with a 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. They're going to have to move those chains back to Kanab. They started this drive, this possession at their own 35, so to get a first down, they would have to get to their own 45. So what we've got is a 4th down and 29. That's a good catch by this officiating crew because that is how it should happen. After a face mask penalty against the defense, the offense would then get to run that play again. A 15-yard penalty sets it at the 16 instead of at the 1. Chain gang lining back up. Let's see if they remember where they're supposed to be.
Looks like it. Set up
pretty close.
Yep.
We'll take it. Close enough. Flint Silva and Hayden Meek moved up to the 35. Now they'll drop back to midfield at the 50.
Oh.
Trey Chatterley, huh?
Yeah.
Backflip
right there. Just waiting for win thing.
Keep fresh. When I keep fresh, I do a couple little hops. I don't do backflips. I don't know about that. Haycock right at his own goal line to punt this one away. Calls for the snap. This snap right on target. Low line drive, wobbly spiral. One hop, Meek fields it in Rebel territory at the 46. He's tripped up and spun down at about the 47 or 48-yard line.
And once again, that penalty really weighs heavy now. I mean, they were looking at possibly having the ball in inside the 5, and now they're on the opposite end of the 50. So let's see how Rich rebounds here.
That's a hard thing because if you're getting back there to try and make that tackle, you've got to make the tackle.
Yeah.
You can't let that guy get by and run for something. But that goes back to the fundamentals of tackling low instead of grabbing high.
Especially with what they're teaching nowadays with the conscientiousness about the head injuries and stuff like that.
High snap, Huffaker pulls it down, gives to Hislop up the middle across midfield and inside the 45 of Kanab, a gain of 8.
Well, the offensive line, Deseret News quoted as saying the offensive line is going to be a huge part of Rich's success this year, and they proved it right there, giving Hislop a good hole and a lot of room to run.
Hislop a year ago, 40 carries for just 87 yards as a junior. The Rebel running offense just didn't have the success it needed a year ago. High snap over the head of Huffaker. Hislop going back. He's hit in the back and dives on the ball somehow. That was one thing that Coach Grohl mentioned to me today was he was concerned about the snap, and that's a problem. That takes you back. Instead of a 2nd or 3rd and short, now you're at a 3rd down and a mile.
Once again, trying to work out all the kinks, shake off the rust, but this is definitely putting Rich in a position that no one is enviable of right now.
Unfortunately for Hislop, that counts against his rushing stats back to the 35, a loss of 15 and 6, 21. And Rich faces a 3rd down and 22. 23 yards to go. Again, the snap a little bit high. Huffaker throws out to Kyler Wilson. It goes in and out of his hands. It was behind him, so a fumble. He has to go back and drop on it. And the Rebels, in a big hole, face a 4th and long.
And now you really got to think about what that penalty down over by the end zone would have cost them. They would have been set up to tie this game up perfectly. Instead, they kind of have a little bit of an ugly drive to start this one off, and now they're going to be punting it away again.
So back to the 22, another 13-yard loss, and Rich will punt from the same spot, their own 22-yard line. Good snap to Huffaker. He gets off a high, straight up and down spiral. Takes a Kanab bounce near midfield and then a Rebel roll to the Kanab 44-yard line. 1st and 10, Cowboys. So Kanab leading 7-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Starts its 3rd possession from its own 42-yard line. First quarter brought to you by the Crawford Trough in Randolph. 2:52 left to go in this opening period of the season. Kanab leads 7-0. The 42-yard line, ball in the left hash. Carter Jackman out wide to the right with, again, big Michael Warino in the backfield. Orton, longer count, gives to Warino. Round the left side, gets a big block down the sideline, rumbles, and he's finally shoved out about the 40 and a big gain.
Looks like big number 67, Bradley Haycock, who we've talked about a lot, gave a great block to kind of spring Warino there.
They'll spot him at the 40, so that's an 18-yard run for big Warino. 30 yards on 4 carries so far today. He's gone for a yard, then 10, then 1, then 18. It's feast or famine with Michael Warino. Ball again on the left hash for 1st and 10. Kanab moves the chains into Rebel territory. Orton under center, takes the snap, gives to Warino, same play, right side, tripped up from behind. Colton Hislop, was that who that was? And Hislop able to dive forward for a gain of 1.
You know, Ryan, we have Warino listed as a fullback on here, but they're really using him more like a halfback. I mean, he's going out there, he's taking snaps, and he seems to be kind of like a downhill runner, kind of Marshawn Lynch-esque, kind of people bouncing off of him, just keeps going and going and going.
His quickness is not his strength. He has some quickness, but his strength is just his size and
his
overall he's
power.
like a freight train once he gets going. 2nd down and 9. Warino the fullback. Chatterley gets the handoff, running left, some room to run, cuts upfield, dodges one tackler to the 30, inside the 30 to the 27 of another first down for Kanab as they move the chains.
You know, you got the feeling coming into this game after what happened last year. Kanab had something to prove. They wanted to show that they could come in here and walk away with the W, and right now they're doing everything they need to. We'll see how Rich responds.
7-0 Kanab on the Station on Main scoreboard. Time running down in this Crawford Trough first quarter. A 13-yard gain for Chatterley. Brings up a 1st and 10 for Kanab. Attacking the south end zone, left to right at mylocalradio.com. Drew Hafen out wide right. Orton looking to throw. Goes short and finds his man at the 20. Cuts inside and is hammered at the 10-yard line. Colton Hislop laid the hammer down on Jace Seeley, who picks up a first down and a little more.
Once again, just a really good, concise, and just really good all-around drive for the Cowboys. They're doing a great job just kind of mixing up the run, mixing up the pass, really kind of working out their muscles trying to get into the season.
17-yard pass and catch from Orton to Seeley, his first catch of the day. Orton 2 of 5 for 63 yards and a touchdown so far today. 1st and goal, Kanab Cowboys at the Rebel 9. Ball on the right hash. Seeley back in the backfield. Orton back to throw, goes over the middle on a hesitated throw, and he finds Chatterley, who dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Cowboys.
Sam Orton having quite the start to his senior year. 2 touchdowns on the day. I mean, he's probably got close to 72 yards already, so he's definitely showing that he's not rusty at all from that injury. He got injured early in the year, Ryan. He broke his hand is what it said, or broke his finger and missed most of the season. So, but he's showing that experience is really paying off.
5 plays to go 58 yards. Extra point attempt. And this is not Haycock kicking the extra point. It hits the right upright. Carter Jackman misses that extra point attempt. And with 30.9 seconds to go in this first quarter, the Kanab Cowboys lead 13-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. We'll keep it right here one more time, Elan. I think we've got just one more ad break to get in. We'll take that between quarters. But Kanab so far, one drive that just didn't work. They didn't have anything going, but the other 2 drives, a lot of success.
Yeah, Kanab definitely coming out here. They're being consistent. They're being pretty conservative. You're not seeing a bunch of big chunk plays with the exception of the first touchdown where it was just something they had to take advantage of. Rich, on the other hand, they've had a really good defensive stop. Penalties have cost them, though. I mean, this could have easily been a 13-7 game if it wasn't for the face mask call down at the 1 after the botched snap.
That was one of our epic recreation keys of the game, to show up today, shake out the jitters, win the turnover battle, all three of them, I guess, in one. But shake out those early jitters, and maybe a face mask doesn't quite fit in that category, but that was a costly penalty.
Yeah, and it's still early. I mean, if Rich can put some points on the board this drive, we're back to being a 6-point game, not a 7-point game, thanks to the missed extra point. And it's still anybody's ball game. No chance or no point in Rich panicking right now. They just got to go out there and do what they know they're capable of. They beat this team last year, so they know that they can play with them. So we'll just take a deep breath if I'm them and just execute.
Stetson Huffaker, the Rebel quarterback, right down here in front of us for this kickoff, kick return for the Rebels. He's got Coach Justin Grohl on his left, Coach Cooper Cornea on his right, as the Rebels look to adjust a little bit here offensively. They've got to find something. So far, they've run 6 plays and gone negative, a bunch, about negative 35 yards. They went -8 on the first drive. We have to figure this out here as Haycock gets set to kick this one away. 28 plus 2 is 30, minus 38 yards of offense so far for the Rebels. A short pooch kick. Wilson fields it, bounces outside of the 25 to the 30, and his legs get wrapped up. He's chopped down right about the 30.
Hislop with a good block there that kind of gave him about 2 or 3 more yards on that return.
So the Rebels, let's see, they kicked off to start this game, so they'll get it to start the second half. Wilson returned that one. We'll give him 10 yards unofficially. Rich from its own 30-yard line with just under 30 seconds left in the first. Snap goes over the head, and Hislop chases it down, breaks one tackle back at the 10, works his way back out to about the 13. And so Rich back in a deep hole for second and way long. So back to the 13. That's another loss of 17 yards. Takes us to the end of the first quarter, where Rich, so far, minus 55 yards of offense. Kanab leads 13-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. We'll be right back with the second quarter action.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Flint Silva, and you're watching Rich High School football on Rebel Radio and mylocalradio.com.
The best live coverage of local sports, weather, local news, and radio classifieds, plus online streaming music, giveaways, and more. It's all on mylocalradio.com. Watch as your high school teams clash with their biggest rivals. Listen to the latest from your team's coaches. Catch up on local and regional news and stream your favorite music. Visit mylocalradio.com. Like us on Facebook and stream it all live.
With minus 55 yards of offense, most of that on snaps that have gone over the head of its quarterback. One of those went for a minus 21. And just moments ago on 1st and 10, the Rebels lost 17 yards on a snap that goes over the head of Stetson Huffaker. That's your biggest adjustment right now for the Rebel offense, is get the snap to the quarterback.
And I mean, you can't talk about this game without talking about the penalty down at the Kanab 1, the face mask after the messed up the snap punt. That would have given the Rebels a real chance to score.
Snap to the right side. He goes straight to Hislop. He'll just head forward, gets outside across the 15, out near the 20, spun down and slammed to the ground.
By Michael Warino.
Warino, that was like a wrestling takedown. Just wrapped him up and ripped him down at the 19. A 6-yard gain.
We keep talking about Warino, and I mean, it's really, we already mentioned it, but it's worth to mention that Coach believes that he is the heart of this team. When he goes, the rest of the team goes, and so far that's proven pretty accurate.
6-yard gain puts the Rebels at their own 19-yard line for a 3rd and 21, 3rd and 20. Trips to the left side, the snap, and give to Hislop up the middle, gets back to the 20, well short of the line to gain at the 40-yard line, so a 4th down and 20 for Rich at their own 20-yard line.
Senior Jace Reedhead in on the stop there for the Kanab Cowboys.
Rebels have run the minimum amount of plays so far, 3 possessions, 3 and outs. so far. Kanab. Is that Jackman back to return the punt?
Carter Jackman, senior, wide receiver, cornerback. He's going to be taking it for Kanab.
Good snap to Huffaker. Gets a punt off, and Jackman has to backtrack a bit. Fields it about the 37. Gets a good block, 40, 50. Rebel 40, and tries to leap over Flint Silva. Silva gets just enough of his leg to knock him down at the Rebel 38.
That was a great run by Jackman. He had blockers. Really just a good return by the Kanab Cowboys. They were all where they needed to be. He found the hole and just kept going.
A 24-yard return for Jackman. Sets up Kanab with good field position at the Rebel 38-yard line. 10 minutes, 12 seconds left in the second quarter. Brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff. For all your propane needs, 435-793-4208. That's 793-4208. Ball in the left hash. Kanab attacking right to left. Jackman wide left. That's south to north here at Rich High School. Orton sends Chatterley in motion, gives to Warino, and he is wrapped up in the backfield. Colton Hislop blitzing in from his linebacker position, got in there and wrapped him up behind the line.
Riley Carrillo also applying the pressure there, getting arms around Warino.
A loss of 3 puts Warino at 6 carries, 28 yards in the game. Most of those yards have come on a gain of 10 and a gain of 18.
It is also worthy to note that is the first time they've got him for a loss.
A loss of 3 brings up a 2nd down and 13. Same formation with a man wide right. That's Drew Hafen this time. Chatterley in motion. Rebels showing some pressure. Orton throws over the middle. He's got Hafen caught at the 25, and he's wrapped up from behind, brought down at the 23 by Kyler Wilson.
Once again, the Kanab Cowboys just playing pretty conservative, playing really solid, just basic ball right now. They're making their catches, they're making their blocks, and they're just doing everything that they're supposed to be doing in this game.
Hafen with a nice route, freed himself up over the middle. Sam Orton now with that completion, 4 of 7. 90 yards, 2 touchdowns. Pretty good start to his senior season. 1st and 10, Cowboys, ball in the right hash, the Rebel 23-yard line. Orton, misdirection, to give to Chatterley, then to to Warino left side. He breaks around the outside. No, that's Kyle Blomquist who will score from 23 yards out. They got the defense going right, then gave it back to Blomquist heading left, and he's into the end zone.
Once again, just really solid run offense by the Kanab Cowboys. Everyone was where they needed to be. I tell you what, Sam Orton did a great job selling that. And then we just saw big number 17, Bloomquist, kind of rumble his way in there. A big touchdown for the wingback.
So Kyle Blomquist goes 23 yards with the score. That drive, just 3 plays to go 38 yards. And Kanab, looks like they're lining up or huddling like they're going to go for 2 here and make it an even 21, or is what they'd like to do. 8:47 here left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Orton under center with Warino behind him. A lot of movement before the snap. Throw into the end zone, incomplete behind Blomquist, who is wide open. Incomplete, and the extra 2-point conversion fails. So 19-0, Kanab leads on the Station on Main scoreboard. We'll be right back.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Corrigan Conk. Thanks for tuning in to Rich High School Football on KADQ FM 98.3 and mylocalradio.com.
When T7 Propane in Woodruff, Utah is your propane supplier, you get reliable, safe, and professional propane service. And that's not all. T7 Propane offers years of expertise, quality product, and the most responsive propane service in the area. For home or other heating needs, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for professional or business propane needs. Call 435-793-4208. That's 435-793-4208.
Kanab off to a hot start in the 2019 season. They took their opening drive, 7 plays, 73 yards. 2 drives later, 5 plays, 58 yards. And their most recent possession, 3 plays, 38 yards, capped off by a 23-yard touchdown run by Kyle Blomquist.
Grohl, but there's still...
Who was that from Kanab?
That was Wyatt Kennedy. Wow. big sophomore.
Wilson thought he had more time. And he kind of let up, thinking, okay, I got a minute to figure out my blocking, and then all of a sudden, he just hand off to Hislop. He'll head up the middle and get to the 25, stood up and wrestled down there.
Clay Shakespeare, the guy who caught the first touchdown of the game, was the first man to get arms around him and really kind of stopped Hislop in his tracks to get the rest of the team around him.
Hislop is at 7 carries for minus 21 yards because he recovered those 2 bad snaps. If you take those 2 away, he's got 5 carries for 17 yards. Not too bad, not great, but not bad.
Yeah, and like we keep saying, it's early in the game too, so who knows what's going to happen there.
Just over 8 minutes left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Rich facing a 2nd and 8. Grohl in motion, give to Hayden Meek, and he finds a little bit of daylight up the middle. Initially, that was a big Saby trucking offensive line hole, but it closed in a hurry. Meek picks up 2, maybe 3 to the 28.
Colby Fetter Kelly in on the stop there for the Kanab Cowboys.
Meek, one of the faster players on this Rebel team. May see him get the ball a little more as the game progresses. Wilson and Huffaker to the sideline will jog back to the huddle. They may have to hurry. 40 seconds from when the whistle blows after the ball is set for the play clock. 3rd down and about 6 for the Rebel offense. Ball on the right hash. Rich attacking north to south. That's left to right here at mylocalradio.com. Kanab with nobody playing deep safety. Huffaker rolls left, throws. He's got Silva open. He's hit before the ball got there and could not get to it. Incomplete. Rebels' second pass attempt of the game falls incomplete. And it's 4th down and 6.
Leaving Stetson Huffaker in there, so see what happens now. Nope, he's headed back to the sideline, so.
No, he's the punter.
Oh, he's the puncher, that's why. Quarterback. Well, we know he can catch a snap, so that'll work.
The punt snaps have not been off target. He gets off a good punt. Nice high wobbly spiral, fielded at the 32. Running right, Carter Jackman weaves through some traffic to the 50, across midfield to the Rebel 47. Almost a block in the back. Flint Silva reacting as if he thought he was blocked in the back, but no flag flew. Officials were right there.
Kyler Wilson on the stop for the Rebels.
So Kanab takes over at the Rich 47. 6:59 left here in the second quarter, brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff. And the Cowboys have scored on both of their last 2 possessions and 3 of their first 4 possessions in this ball game. This is their 5th possession of the game. They lead 19-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Orton under center. Got big Michael Warino behind him. And Warino gets the handoff, rumbles right, slips down, and his knee hits the ground right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. So Warino, again, I said feast or famine earlier, and that's totally what it is with him. His carries have gone for 1, 1, 1, -3, and 0. Those are the famine. The feast have been for 10 and 18 yards.
And one of those was a pretty big first down too, to kind of switch momentum here after the Rebel defense had them pinned deep.
2nd and 10. Jay Seeley in the backfield, replacing Warino, who's now in the slot back position right side. Give to Seeley right side, and Hislop slices in, wraps him up by the 2 legs. That was a 2-leg wrestler takedown. Hislop, a state champ last year in 1A Utah wrestling, does his job there, and it's a loss of 1.
Hislop pretty slow to get up, but he's shaking it off, so, and he is trying to figure out what the formation will be. He seems to be the leader of this defense and really does a good job trying to get everyone on the same page.
He's going to have to make sure he gets some water. Playing all this time, first game of the season. Don't want to get dehydrated and any cramps for him and any of the guys. A 3rd down and 11. Kanab at the Rebel 48-yard line. Seeley, the fullback. Orton under center with Hafen on the right side. Orton fakes a handoff, throws over the middle. A wobbly throw is short. And I'm not sure if he just misfired or realized his window of opportunity closed, so he threw it low where no one would get it.
Either way, Rich did a great job covering that pass. Of course, it looks like we have a flag on the full play.
Flag is down back at the Kanab 48-yard line. If Rich accepts the penalty, if it's against Kanab and Rich accepts it, it would be 3rd down and about 21. If they decline, it's 4th and 11 at midfield. We saw a couple of indications from this Rebel sideline line judge said decline, and that's what the white cap confirms. So the hold penalty declined. Kanab with a 4th and 11 from the Rebel 48-yard line with a 19-0 lead. I wouldn't expect Kanab to fake it or go for it here, but should I repeat that from what the superintendent just said? No, I probably shouldn't. It was under his breath. I don't know if he even intended for me to hear it, but
these mics pick up an awful lot.
To punt it away. Good snap. And he gets off a low line drive. Silva backs up, lets it bounce. This one will go down near the goal line. Blomquist fielded it at the 2, but he slid into the end zone. But he did down it before sliding into across that goal line. So at the 2 is where Rich will start. What a punt by Haycock.
Yeah. And a great hustle by Bloomquist to get there to try to beat Silva to the ball. Silva, it looked like he was going to try to let it bounce in the end zone, but Blomquist, good heads-up play there to kind of scoop it up and down it at the 2.
Boy, that's even to say the 2 is a little generous. It's like the 1.5. Rebels with 5:13 left in this T7 Propane in Woodruff's second quarter. Defense does its job. Now can the offense find some success? Huffaker under center, takes the snap, dives forward, spins away. He's got some room out to the 5, and boy, just slowed down enough that he couldn't break free. A good tackle by, was it Shakespeare?
I believe so.
So Huffaker out to the 6-yard line, gain of 4. Stetson with 2 carries for 3 yards, including that gain of 4, 2nd down and 6. And this is the kind of thing, I mean, that's one play, but that's what they need. 3-4 yards on a 1st down sets up a 2nd and manageable.
Well, I mean, 4 times 3 is 12. That's a 1st down. So if you can keep repeating that type of success, you're giving yourself a chance.
Logan Muirbrook back out wide on the right. Huffaker on his goal line takes the snap. A play taking forever to develop. Hayden Meek brought down. They'll spot it. He ended up in the end zone, but his progress was pulled back. I think they'll spot it back at the 2.
Good aggressive defense from Kanab. I mean, when you look at what Coach Orton was wanting, he says that he wants to see his defense get aggressive again. He wants to see that defense kind of really start to put people in their place, and that's what we're seeing so far from this Kanab defense.
Timeout on the field. We'll take 1-2 and be right back. 19-0 Kanab on the station on main scoreboard.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Corgan Conk. Thanks for tuning in to Rich High School Football on KADQ FM 98.3 and mylocalradio.com.
When T7 Propane in Woodruff, Utah is your propane supplier, you get reliable, safe, and professional propane service. And that's not all. T7 Propane offers... Is it time to stop wishing for your dream home in beautiful Bear Lake? If you're ready to make your dream a reality, Bear Lake...
Apologies on the technical difficulties. I won't say that's operator error, but it was operator error.
Hey.
Rebels, one adjustment that got to thank Rob Leifson, our cameraman, noticed is Justin Adams. You may know him as Buckwheat. He's now playing center for the Rebels, and snaps have been a little better on target the last couple possessions. Huffaker 5 yards deep in his own end zone for a 3rd down and 9. Kanab showing pressure. Huffaker takes the snap and just tries to push his way back out of the end zone. He barely does to the 1. And Rich faces a 4th and 11. Huffaker 3 carries for a yard in the game. This Kanab defense has been stout. So a 4th down. It was operator's preparation error on that missed ad. Okay, I'm going to have to fix that. That's my bad. Cash Honda Yamaha, one of our sponsors. Snap over the head. That would have been a safety, but whistles blew it dead before the snap. Timeout, Rebels. And let's see if we've got a Cash Honda Yamaha ad somewhere else we can play real quick. No, I don't see one. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Let's go. Sorry for our producer. Yeah, go ahead with that one.
The best cement comes from Ellingford Brothers in Evanston. They've been mixing cement for every type of job for generations. Major construction, road and bridge, cement blocks, foundations, sidewalks, curb and gutter, cement steps, septic tanks, and water troughs. No job is too large or too small. Make sure you get the best quality cement available at the best prices. Always get your cement from Ellingford Brothers. Call today. Ellingford Brothers. We know cement. 307-789-1515.
Success is no accident. It comes from constant hard work, perseverance, sacrifice, and learning from failure. Laketown Mayor Burdette Weston and council members Dallas Clark, Chris Hodges, Gary Ogilvie, and Delora White encourage the Rich High Rebels to continue to do whatever it takes to succeed in academics, activities, and athletics. The town council and citizens of Laketown celebrate the success of all the students and staff in the Rich School District.
Huffaker gets off a great punt. Jackman backpedals, fumbles it at the 45-yard line, but then falls on it, and Kanab with another good starting field position at the Rebel 46-yard line. Rich offense so far on their first possession went -8. Then they went back 30 yards, back 10. And on that last, let's see, and then they went +5 and then -1. I didn't do that math as I went, but the Rebels offensively negative yardage in this first half. Kanab's defense just shutting down the Rebel offense. 3:48 left, second quarter, brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff. Kanab from the Rebel 46, 1st and 10. Leading 19-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Orton gives left side. Chatterley breaks a couple of tackles, weaves forward inside the 35, spun around by Hislop down at the 30, and actually down to about the 28.
Great run there by Chatterley. And once again, the blocking by the Kanab Cowboys have been absolutely on point, and it looks like we're going to see number 6, Drew Hafen, check in, and we all know what he's capable of. He's caught a few passes today.
So a first down and 10. Kanab at the Rebel 28-yard line. Hafen will come out wide to the left side. He looks like a big tight end. Lines up as a split out or split end wide receiver type position. Jay Seeley in the backfield behind Orton. Takes the snap, gives to Seeley, running left. Cuts back up the middle, gets to the 25. The Rebels stand him up and drive him down. Good gang tackle after a gain of 3.
Once again, Hislop in there on the stop. He's the one who kind of clogged that hole, stopped him in his tracks, and waited for reinforcements to come in and complete the play.
Whistles and an official's timeout, maybe an injury timeout. Let's take a moment, Elin, for station identification.
You're tuned in to Rich Rebel Sports on KADQ Evanston.
Go to an ad break.
In today's world, with so many places to shop and so many options to choose from, sometimes you have to boil it down to one simple question: where do I get treated the best? At Cash Honda Yamaha in Logan, we work hard to make sure every customer knows how much we appreciate them. We love what we do, and we believe in the products we sell. Our goal is to build a lasting friendship with every customer so we can serve you and your family for generations. Visit us today, Cash Honda Yamaha, 3765 US 91, Hyde Park, Utah.
19-0. Kanab leads on the Station on Main scoreboard. They scored on the first, third, and fourth possessions of the game. Man injured. And was that Bradley Haycock? 67. That's unfortunate to see anybody go down. Haycock, that right foot, that's it's been a big part of today's game. The kickoffs and punts for Kanab And we'll hope that he's okay. Helped off by the coaches.
He was also kind of a one-man wrecking crew on the offensive line early in the first quarter. He had 2 plays in a row where he was involved directly with the action.
So a 2nd down and 7. Clock begins to run again at 2:45 left in this T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Orton under center. Out wide to the left side is Luke Browning, a sophomore wide receiver. Orton takes the snap, couple of play fakes, rolls, throws. It's on the turf, incomplete. The throw was low, intended for Jay Seeley, who came out of the backfield into the flat.
Going back to that potential injury, that really speaks into a comment that Coach Orton gave to Deseret News. He says, I think we're pretty talented in our defensive end spots. It's just depth is really my concern up front. And losing someone like big number 67 Bradley Haycock is not going to help that concern at all.
And that's something that Coach Orton also mentioned, referring to playing at 2A. You're going to play at teams with more depth than you have, so injuries will be key, especially moving forward through the rest of the season. 3rd down and 7. Ball right in the middle of the field. Kanab at the Rebel 25. Orton under center. Seeley behind him. Takes the snap. Gives to Chatterley around the right side. Room to run. He cuts forward. He's got a 1st down, but he's tripped up from behind right at the 1st down marker. Boy, I thought that would be a bigger gain, but Hayden Meek sliced in, brought him down, but it still was enough for a 1st down.
Once again, Cowboys just doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They're not going for these big plays. They're taking little chunks of yardage out at a time, and that's why they're up 19-0. They've played a really good game, conservative. They've followed their principles, so their fundamentals, and just really doing everything right now.
Down to the Rebels' 17-yard line. A 1st down for Kanab. Just over 2 minutes left in this T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Hafen wide left. Wilson giving him the sideline. He's out on the left hash. Orton takes the snap and gives to Warino. Starts left, cuts back right, breaks a tackle. Another finally drugged down at about the 8. That was close to 1st down yardage. Gain of about 9.
Warino, one of the newcomers to offensive newcomers to watch, according to Deseret News, and he's definitely proving it. And as you said, feast or famine. He's got what? He's got now a total of 36 yards. It's absolutely incredible right now.
36 yards on 8 carries. Most of those coming on 3 carries, 10, 18, and last one of 8. 2nd down and 2. Kanab at the right hash. Orton back to throw. Quick fire out left side, wide open. Carter Jackman. He started to go toward the corner. Kyler Wilson thought that's where he was going. Jackman just cut that off, stopped at the goal line. Easy pass and catch, touchdown. 25-0 Kanab.
Orton with just a solid frozen rope type throw, just absolutely showing off his arm strength. A big year for the senior, and he's off to a big start.
6 plays, 46 yards. This drive started at the Rebel 46-yard line. How much time? 1:02 left in this second quarter. So that drive, 2 minutes, 46 seconds. Kanab huddling and fixing some equipment. Let's see if they go for 2 here or what they elect to do. Sam Orton, 50% completion percentage, but he's been extremely efficient. 99 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Cowboys going for 2. Quick throw over the middle and caught. Shakespeare with the catch from Orton. 2-point conversion. Successful. 27-0 Kanab leads. And Coach Orton said in the pregame, he said to me, we came up here last year and Rich laid a beat down on us. It's going the other way so far this year, Elon.
They're definitely starting to return the favor a little bit. It's going to be very interesting to see what Rich does with this next possession, what they do coming out of halftime. We're only about 1 minute, 2 seconds on the station on main scoreboard. So
5:01 is our time. 1:02 left here in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Again, join us for the Ellingford Brothers halftime show. We'll play the ads small so you can see the drill team perform, and if the cheer squad performs as well, we'll get to see that. We've got the Rich County Government first half highlights, and the Town of Woodruff standout student again is Whitney Story. That's all during our Ellingford Brothers halftime show coming up. Rebel volleyball gets started next Thursday night up at Ridgeline in Cache Valley. And then a quick turnaround to Friday morning, 8 a.m. The JV starts at that Cokefield tournament against Evanston, and the varsity match will start about 8:45. We'll have it live here for you on mylocalradio.com. Elon will have it live on mylocalradio.com as well for the Evanston side.
I was about to say, we'll have both point of views. So if you want to hear what we're saying about Rich on the over in Evanston, tune on into 99.1 KNYN, the big dog.
So with Haycock injured, he was helped off, and it looked like, I mean, all I could see was he didn't want to put any pressure on his right foot. I see him standing on the sideline now, I think, with his helmet off. But Carter Jackman lined up to do the kickoff. Jackman just caught the touchdown pass. And he boots it away. A shorter kick. Wilson fields it about the 17. Starts left, then goes back right, then hesitates and tries to spin away at the 24-yard line, a short return.
Now we'll see what Rich opts to do here, if they can try to get some points on the board. They got 56 seconds left on the station on main scoreboard.
So Rich will start at its own 24. 56 seconds, and I think at this point in the first half, you maybe run a couple of running plays. You don't want to give up anything. I don't know, maybe you take a shot. What have you got to lose at this point in the first half?
Exactly, down 27-0. If you can possibly capture some momentum going into the locker room, that might help you out a little bit. Who knows what they want to do.
A timeout for Kanab. We'll keep it right here on mylocalradio.com. Kanab Cowboys last year went just 2-9, and a lot of those games were very close. And if you want to really, get down to it and compare scores with, what Rich did against Milford or Duchesne versus what Kanab did against Parowan, Milford, those guys, Kanab definitely looked like the better team. They had closer games against those teams, and a lot of that without Sam Orton, who so far today, his completion percentage, set that aside because that really doesn't tell the story. He's 5 of 10, but those 5 passes, he's got 3 touchdowns, 99 yards. He's been very good.
He has, and I mean, Coach Orton mentioned it in the interview with the Deseret News. He says that before he broke his finger, he was really kind of their guy last year, and now they think he's a special guy, and this could be a very big season for him.
Rebels with trips to the left. One of the adjustments I noticed is Kanab was going off the field after that timeout. They only had 2 men out to cover Rebels' 3 wide receivers on the right side. Huffaker takes the snap, looking to throw. Pressure comes, and he'll be brought down back at the 16-yard line. A loss of about 8.
Justice Waters Tate, the senior, got arms around Huffaker. Really kind of caused all of that right there.
They'll spot it at the 17-yard line. Stetson, let's see, what's that, a loss of 7. So the 4 carries for -6 yards. Hislop, 7 carries, -21. Second down and long. Pitch out to Hislop, left side, right side, and he finds a little room and then is hammered down at about the 21. Big hit by big Jace Reedhead.
Reedhead just run into him like a freight train, kind of clotheslined him for a little bit for those listening on KADQ. And that was a hit, Ryan.
Wow. A 5-yard gain for Hislop out to the 22 takes us to the end of the first half, and Kanab leads 27-0 on the station on main scoreboard. Stay tuned. The second quarter has been brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff. Your Ellingford Brothers halftime show is coming up when we return.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Corrigan Conk. Thanks for tuning in to Rich High School Football on KADQ FM 98.3 and mylocalradio.com.
Is it time to stop wishing for your dream home in beautiful Bear Lake? If you're ready to make your dream a reality, Bear Lake Realty can help with residential and land listings, including vacation properties, timeshares, cabins, condos, beachfront, lake view, and more. Bear Lake Realty has what you're looking for. And with more than 30 years of real estate experience in the area, you know you're working with the best. Visit BearLakeRealty.com and come and enjoy the Caribbean of the Rockies with us.
Established in 1870, Randolph, Utah is home. Home to the rich rebels, to hardy people of high character, and to values of dedication, honesty, hard work, education, and respect for self and others. Randolph is also home to friendly folks who love their families, their town, and their neighbors. Count yourself a neighbor whenever you visit Randolph, Utah. Mayor Lynn Weston and the Town Council of Randolph wish the rich rebels good luck and invite you to visit anytime.
You rely on your vehicle every day. Make sure your ride gets the best service, repairs, and maintenance possible. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff provides the highest quality, the latest technology, and the newest equipment to give your vehicle the absolute best auto care available. Family owned and operated since 1992, your friends at Stacy's Repair promise to always deliver. The best cement comes from Ellingford Brothers in Evanston. They've been mixing cement for every type of job for generations. Major construction, road and bridge, cement blocks, foundations, sidewalks, curb and gutter, cement steps, septic tanks, and water troughs. No job is too large or too small. Make sure you get the best quality cement available at the best prices. Always get your cement from Ellingford Brothers. Call today. Ellingford Brothers, we know cement. 307-789-1515.
Success is no accident. It comes from constant hard work, perseverance, sacrifice, and learning from failure. Laketown Mayor Burdette Weston and council members Dallas Clark, Chris Hodges, Gary Ogilvie, and Delora White encourage the Rich High Rebels to continue to do whatever it takes to succeed in academics, activities, and athletics. The town council and citizens of Laketown celebrate the success of all the students and staff in the Rich School District.
$27-0 at the half. Kanab leads the Rich Rebels, and that tells you, I guess, that tells you the story, a little bit more of the story. Rich with minus 42 yards of offense to Kanab's 225. It's the halftime show brought to you by Ellingford Brothers, the best in specialized services, including construction, steel fabrication, sand and gravel, and more. EllingfordBros.com. Rich had the opening kickoff by Bear Lake Physical Therapy. Normally, we'd have said a few times, first down brought to you by Comprehensive Family Dental. But the Rebels went 3 and out. Then they went 3 and out. Then they went 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and 2 to the end of the half. Offensively, just minus 42 yards of offense. I don't think I've ever seen anything equaling that.
It definitely shows Coach Grohl where they need to work. Where they need to work on going into future games. It really is. It really is something I've never seen it either. It's definitely a credit to the Kanab defense. They're definitely doing whatever they can to kind of keep everything in control. And I mean, Ryan, it's been all about Kanab. I mean, the scoreboard's been all about Kanab. The stat sheet's been all about Kanab. It really has been all them. Looks like the booth is pretty busy right now, Ryan.
A little bit of a short, I think, trying to get the dance team to, is this the cheer squad to perform? So, the drill team, excuse me. 27-0 at the half. And now one thing we didn't get to do, as I mentioned, no Comprehensive Family Dental first downs. The Rebels did not force any Garden City turnovers. If we have a touchdown, it will be brought to you by Pro Physical Therapy, Rich County 4-H Extra Points. Rich just hasn't got anything going offensively. And Kanab's offense, decent, 225 of offense in the first half is good. Nothing amazing, but, boy, they're on pace to really – I mean, they've dominated that first half and on pace to continue that.
They have, and you can't talk about that first half without that face mask penalty that negated a bad snap on Kanab that would have given the Rebels the ball at the 2 or maybe even the 1. I mean, it was really hard to kind of make it out, but they got a face mask penalty. It looked like they were going to push the ball out to the 16 after a 15-yard penalty, but then the officials caught that, no, we actually give Kanab the choice of whether they want to replay that down or not. They chose to do it, and then all of a sudden, instead of being at the 16, they're clearly over around the 40 of the Rebels.
All right, Elan, did we already get, we already got these ones, the Ellingford and the town of Laketown add in. So let's take a quick break. We'll move along in your Ellingford Brothers halftime show. These first half highlights have been brought to you by Rich County Government, Rebels with a Championship Cause. Coming up, your Town of Woodruff standout student right after this.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Corgan Conk. Thanks for tuning in to Rich High School Football on KADQ FM 98.3 and mylocalradio.com.
When you enter the city limits of the town of Woodruff, the sign welcomes you to a place with the coldest temps and the warmest hearts. Settled in 1870, we celebrate the values of kindness, compassion, and friendliness, knowing a community's greatness may best be measured by the compassionate actions of its members. Mayor Scott Sabian, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Kent Stewart, and Jason Peterson, with Secretary Lisa Bell, welcome you and say,
Go Rich Rebels!
every excavation project requires the professionals, the equipment, and the strategy to get the job done right. J-Bar Excavation in Randolph, Utah has the team, the tools, and the plan to execute every phase of your project to create exactly what you're looking for. They have the machinery and the experience to provide quality work that fits your schedule and your budget. Call them today, 435-793-5855. J-Bar Excavation, 90 North Main, Randolph.
Back to the Ellingford Brothers halftime show. It's time for your standout student, brought to you by the town of Woodruff. Mayor Scott Saby, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Kent Stewart, and Jason Peterson, with Secretary Lisa Bell.
Ryan Steineckert with Whitney Story, a senior at Rich High School, member of the cheer team. What else do you do, Whitney?
I high school rodeo too, part of the Rich rodeo team.
So you're busy.
Yep, I like to stay busy.
How long you been doing cheer?
This is my second year, so I started my junior year.
What got you to start doing it? Like, what got you to make that decision to get into it?
My mom was a cheerleader, and I don't know, it just kind of looked fun, so I wanted to try it, something different.
It must have been fun, or else you probably wouldn't have been back for your second year, right?
Probably not.
What do you enjoy about it?
I like to challenge myself, so I like to do this different stunts and everything.
And are there other elements you enjoy, the dancing or the cheering at the games, or is it just the challenge that's fun for you?
I like to cheer at the games. I like to get involved. That's why I really like to cheer.
How are things going with the cheer squad so far? I mean, obviously school just started this week, but how are things looking?
They're looking good. I don't know. We haven't really done a lot. We're just kind of working, so we'll see how it goes, but probably pretty good.
Does the team have captains, or who are the captains this year?
I'm pretty sure I'm the captain because I'm on the student council representing the cheer team, but I'm not really sure.
You're on student council too?
Yeah. I'm the cheer representative.
Let's turn to rodeo. Is it in Vernal this week?
Yes, it is. It's our home rodeo.
You're the rodeo club president, so we may talk a few times this fall.
Yep.
What events do you do?
I do breakaway and goat tying.
And have you qualified? I mean, it's early, right? But have you qualified in either of those events?
Not yet. I just went to one on Friday, so no, not yet. But I'm going to try to this weekend.
All right. What else are you involved with at Rich High School besides the student council? Are you taking some college classes, anything like that?
I'm going to try to. So I have a couple, not this trimester, but.
Whitney, what are you looking forward to most in your senior year?
Be done. I don't know. I love school, but I'm just kind of over it right now.
You have a plan going forward after Rich High School? What's next?
I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking about going to college at Dixie State, but I'm not sure yet.
You're thinking about Dixie State because?
I don't know. I just like it down there.
You've been down there for like the Dixie Six and some other like family vacations or something?
Yep.
You like the warm, the Red Rock? What do you like about down there?
I like the warm weather and it's fun. I have a couple of people I know down there that I help, so.
Whitney, what classes do you have this semester, and what kind of classes do you enjoy?
I have dental assisting, and that's what I want to go into, so that's about the only class I like so far because I've really not started, but yeah.
What do you like about dental assisting, or the idea of going into that?
I don't know. I just think it's cool. I don't know. I've always wanted to be a dentist, so I just think it's cool.
Are there any activities in your senior year you're looking forward to, the dances, any like homecoming week or anything like that?
I'm looking really forward to homecoming. I'm excited for it. It'll be fun.
What else do you enjoy doing outside of school? Other hobbies or instruments, riding horses, anything you like to do outside of class?
I don't really do a lot. I just kind of rope and ride my horses and practice tying the goat. That's about all.
You guys have a ranch?
No, not really.
How do I mean? Do you have one or not? How do you? Is it not really? Do you?
We have a ranch, but it's not like I don't do anything with it. Kind of just go ride wherever.
So you don't have to go out and fix fence or like milk cows or anything.
No, that'd be horrible.
Okay, so just ride horse. What's your horse's name?
I just got a new roping horse, and his name is Cage, and then I goat tie off this horse named Lucy. It's my cousin. So.
Did you have a part in naming either of those?
Nope, I got them both from my cousins. So.
Already named.
Yep.
Gotcha. Anything else we should touch on, Whitney?
I think that's all.
All right, Whitney. What's the best thing about being a Rich Rebel?
Probably this people and just having fun and going to a small school.
Whitney, good luck with rodeo this weekend, with your senior year, with the cheer squad, everything else you got going on. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
That was Whitney's story, brought to you by the town of Woodruff. Your standout student, Mayor Scott Sabey, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Kent Stewart, and Jason Peterson, with Secretary Lisa Bell. At the half, Kanab dominating 27-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. For so long, it was the Stacy's Repair, and they're still sponsoring some other things. But anyway, thank you to the Station on Main sponsoring our scoreboard this year. The Rebels, though, trailing 27-0 here at the half. Our halftime show is brought to you by Ellingford Brothers, the best in specialized service, including construction, steel fabrication, sand and gravel, and more. Visit ellingfordbros.com. Stay tuned. Second half action coming up on this broadcast of Rebel football.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Colton Hislop. Thanks for tuning in to Rich High School Football on KADQ FM 98.3 and mylocalradio.com.
As the hospital closest to Bear Lake, professional medical care is always available at Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. As a full-service hospital, Bear Lake Memorial offers an emergency room that's open 24/7. They treat patients of all ages. Other professional services include physicians' clinics, assisted living, home health services, counseling, dialysis, physical, occupational, and speech therapy, orthopedic care, and skilled nursing. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care.
When you want something custom built for your home, farm and ranch, vehicle, or trailer, it needs to be done with precision, be strong, and be affordable. Get all this and more when you work with the Steel Shop at Ellingford Brothers. You bring the plan or idea, and they'll make it a reality. The Steel Shop sells and installs vehicle accessories like bull bars, running boards, and bed liners. They also specialize in truck and trailer hitches as well. Get it built to last. Ellingford Brothers, 221 County Road in Evanston.
Established in 1870, Randolph, Utah is home. Home to the Rich Rebels, to hardy people of high character, and to values of dedication, honesty, hard work, education, and respect for self and others. Randolph is also home to friendly folks who love their families, their town, and their neighbors. Count yourself a neighbor whenever you visit Randolph, Utah. Mayor Lynn Weston and the Town Council of Randolph wish the Rich Rebels good luck and invite you to visit anytime.
Back to the Ellingford Brothers halftime show. 27-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Kanab with the lead. The Cowboys took their opening drive, 7 plays, 73 yards. Then they went a 3-and-out, and something that Elan, you've alluded to a couple times, a bad snap, went over the head of the punter, back down to the 1-yard line. Rebels had a chance to pin or to make the tackle there and get the ball right at the goal line, but a face mask penalty changed the complexion of maybe the entire game. Gave Kanab a chance to re-punt, and they got off a good punt. Rebels offense has done nothing today. In fact, they've done less than nothing. 42 yards minus, or in the negative, in the red. Minus 42 yards of offense for the Rebels today. Kanab, after that 3-and-out, they've done well offensively. Their next drive was 5 plays, 58 yards. Orton to Shakespeare, and then Kyle Blomquist ran it in from 23 yards out on Kanab's next possession. And then they did have another 3-and-out punt, but then on their final possession of the first half, Sam Orton found Carter Jackman. So they've had the ball 6 times. They've scored 4 of those times, and their field position has been good. They've taken advantage of that, and they've been dominant on both sides of the ball.
They really haven't. I mean, that stat, in my mind, that is a dominant performance. The negative 42, that's a really a credit to the Cowboys defense. They've done a great job just finding holes, stuffing them, and just making plays when they need to.
And it's been interesting, and you alluded to this earlier, but early on there have been plays like this throughout the game where there's a big hole, Hislop gets the ball or whoever has it, and it looks like it's going to be something big, but one guy gets through the block or one guy breaks it up and ruins what could be a positive play for Rich. And so one little thing here and there, a lot of those negative yardages are on snaps that went over Huffaker's head. And so Rich, little things so far, but those little things are translating into big problems.
Well, yeah, and we talked about it in the keys of the game. It's just win the TO battle, show up today, and the third one was shake out the jitters. And I mean, I think that's pretty much that's put them in this hole. I mean, they haven't won the TO battle. They're clearly some rust from the offseason that they're still trying to shake off. They're going to get it right, and they're going to figure it out. I mean, we could see them come out in the second half, start getting some positive yards. I mean, right now I think it's all about trying to build some positive momentum for your team as you head into the beginning of the season.
This is the halftime show brought to you by Ellingford Brothers. So let's take an opportunity here to thank another of our sponsors here. If I can find, Rob knows this one, the fan cam. Our camera today is sponsored by Bear Lake Realty. Bear Lake Realty, the most experienced and highest volume realtor in Bear Lake. That's Gary and Amber McKee in Garden City. Visit bearlakerealty.com. They've got tons of options as far as beachfront, lakeview, room with a view, and much more. Timeshare options if owning your own home up there outright is too much. They can also help you learn how to buy a home, rent it out so it pays for itself. You can enjoy it some of the time as well. That's Bear Lake Realty. Visit bearlakerealty.com and Gary and Amber McKee. And the fan cam, of course, as usual, a lot of the Rebel fans down to our left in their camping chairs, some on the bleachers. Kanab fans across the way, you got a view of them. And nice day for football, I'll tell you that.
I was about to say it feels more like spring football than a football opening season. So
first game of the season, late August. You can't complain about 78, 75 degrees.
Especially up here in Rich.
So that's the fan cam brought to you by Bear Lake Realty. Back to the live action cam as we get set for the third quarter, brought to you by the town of Randolph. Good luck from the mayor and board members, along with the town clerk. Rebels will receive to start this second half action. And we'll see what kind of adjustments they made at the half. I mentioned that some little issues have caused big problems. We'll see if they can tweak or adjust those little issues.
Well, and if I'm Rich right now, all I want to do is do the little things right now. Get clean snaps, get 2-3 yards per carry, do something where you can start to build some momentum and try to bite into this deficit. Erasing it is going to be a big ask, but they can definitely start doing some little things and feel good about where they're headed.
And here's something we saw last week. Milford was up big on South Summit.
Yep.
And a guy who was doing our color with the color analyst with us from Milford said, you know, if I'm South Summit, and what am I saying in the locker room? I'm saying, guys, ignore the scoreboard, forget the score, and let's play football. Let's try to get better. Carter Jackman kicks off. Bear Lake Physical Therapy kickoff. A high hop. Wilson fields it at the 18, out to the 26, and he stood up and dropped down on a short return.
Looks like Brigham Cliff, number 52, or Clough, sorry, number 52 in on the stop there for the Kanab Cowboys. Now Rich comes back out, and it looks like we might have a few adjustments made here on the offense by Coach Grohl.
About a 9-yard return for Wilson out to the 27-yard line, and he showed a little bit of painfulness or slow to move away from where he was tackled, kind of holding his legs after the tackle. Huffaker in the shotgun, but Wilson on wide left. Looks like he's all right. Takes the snap, gives to Hislop on the right side. He tried to wrestle away from a tackler or two, got back to the 24, a loss of 3.
And he ran into a wall of red and white, really nowhere to go. Great run coverage there by the Kanab Cowboys defense, just absolutely swarming the football, doing exactly what you're told to from the first day of 2 days, is get to the ball and make a play.
Loss of 4. Hislop at 9 carries for minus 20 yards. And again, it's just unfortunate for him, but a couple of his carries were recovering those snaps that went over the head of the quarterback. He lost 38 yards on those 2 snaps. So a 27-0 lead for Kanab on the Station on Main scoreboard. Just underway in the town of Randolph third quarter. A second down and 14. Huffaker over the middle. He had Wilson, but the throw just a bit short. Incomplete at Wilson's feet.
Trey Chatterley on the coverage there for the Kanab Cowboys.
Huffaker 1 of 3 for -7 yards. And unfortunate there, Wilson was open. It was a good pattern, just the throw a bit short. So third down and 14 for the Rebels. They need the Kanab 37-yard line to move the chains. Rich has not picked up a comprehensive family dental first down yet today. Come up to the line. Justin Adams at center. Huffaker in the shotgun. Trips right. Wilson wide left. Takes the snap. Gets a block. Rolls to his left. Tosses ahead to, is that Meek, who's hit immediately. Made the catch, but lost about 5.
Bloomquist found his man and absolutely leveled him. And once again, Rich is going to have to punt it away after 3 and out.
So Huffaker completes the pass to Hayden Meek, but Hayden had nowhere to go. Looked like the Rebels were trying to set up a screen, but just didn't work out. A loss of 4 brings up a 4th down and 18, and Rich will be forced to punt another 3-and-out series for the Rebels. Huffaker getting a workout today with that right leg. Good bounce for the Rebels. Jackman fields it to his right and runs left. He's got some room. It looked like a block in the back, no flag, and Jackman is ripped down out of bounds at the Rebel 25-yard line. A big return for Jackman.
Now we're going to get to see senior Sam Orton come out here. You said he's got 99 yards passing in the first half. He got injured early in his junior year, I think about week 2, broke his finger, kind of changed the season for Kanab, but he's coming out here, and he's been a difference maker on the offense. So, too, has number 15, the junior, Michael Warino.
Third quarter, 10:20 left to go. Kanab at the Rebel 24-yard line. Orton with Warino behind him in the fullback position. Blomquist right side, the wingback. Snap and give to Chatterley around the left side. Gets around containment to the 20, cuts back inside. Wilson stands him up, wraps him up, and then 3 other Rebels come in and hit him down at the 19. Chatterley with his 5th carry of the day. That one goes for about 7, puts him above 50 rushing yards today on just those 5 carries. Spotted at the 18-yard line, so 6 yards. Puts him at 52 total. Go ahead.
Number 6, Drew Hafen, just checking out for the Cowboys. Sorry about that, Ryan.
A 2nd and 6. Kanab, ball on the right hash. Under 10 minutes to go. The town of Randolph third quarter, and Kanab leads 27-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. In motion goes Blomquist. He gets the handoff from right to left, around the left side, follows some blocks. He's wrapped up and brought down from behind, ridden down by Stetson Huffaker. Blomquist enough for the first down at about the 11-yard line.
Well, we keep saying it over and over again, but Kanab just doing all of the fundamentals right. They're getting their snaps right. They're getting the ball. They're gaining yardage. They're putting their head down. Well, not putting their head down, but so to speak, they're just doing whatever it takes to make that number a positive number on every play.
1st and 10 at the Rebel 11. They can get a first down at the 1. Jackman wide to the right side. No, that's not Jackman. That's Browning. Orton takes the snap and gives left side. Was that to Carson Blomquist? Was that number 7 with the carry? So yeah. Carson Blomquist making an appearance today. And he carries for a couple down to the 9.
So now Kanab will see if they can punch it in there, extend this lead. But as we talked about going into this half, it's not so much about the scoreboard. Now it's about doing things right and building some positive momentum going into this season. First game of the season, things like this happen, but you can't let it get you down.
Warino stood up at the line of scrimmage, fights through it, and lost, what happened? We just lost power, or lost my audio. Warino able to get down to about the 7. There we go. Just lost audio for me.
Warino's going to have to come off the field. He lost his helmet on that play. So He looks to be okay, but it looks like they're going to bring him off as part of the precaution.
So a 2-yard gain for Warino. 9 carries, 38 yards in the game. All of Kanab's touchdowns have come via the air except for Kyle Blomquist's 23-yard run. The other 3, a 46-yard pass from Orton to Shakespeare, a 9-yard pass from Orton to Jackman, and a 9-yard pass from Orton to Chatterley. Orton under center for 3rd and 6. Jay Seeley, the fullback, and the ball is on the turf. The Rebels have fallen on it at about the 9. Trouble in the exchange. It falls to the turf, and there's a Garden City turnover where families play Garden City. The Rebels, who recovered that? Rich will take over following that fumble. We'll see if that can give a little bit of a spark for the Rebels, but they'll start from their own 9-yard line, a long field in front of them.
Looks like Bridger Weston was the man who fell on that one.
1st and 10, Rebels from the right hash.
Well, we talked about winning the turnover battle. They're winning it now. We'll see what happens.
Huffaker fakes one way, gives the other some room to run up the middle. Hayden Meek for 10 yards, tripped up. If he gets past that one man, he might be gone. But a first down, is that your first comprehensive family dental first down of the game? Rebels move the chains out to the 20.
And that turnover could be exactly what the doctor ordered. You just see the players on the sideline. They're starting to pat each other on the back. They're getting excited. Things are starting to look a little bit more brighter for Rich.
Under 7 minutes to go. The town of Randolph, 3rd quarter. Rich moves the chains. Huffaker brings Meek in motion, pitches left side. It's a low pitch, and Meek, fortunate, it took a friendly hop right back to him, but he's tackled immediately at the 13. Hislop, thank you. So a loss of 7. A low pitch, just not on target.
No, but it's extremely fortunate that it bounced right at the feet of Hislop, that he was literally able to just kind of catch it off the bounce. Otherwise, that could have been another disastrous moment there for Rich.
Trips out to the right. Kyler Wilson on the left side. Huffaker takes the snap. He's looking to go deep over the middle. Wilson comes back, and it's just knocked away at the last second, right at the first down marker at the 30 in the middle of the field.
Number 22, Sam Orton, the quarterback, in on the coverage there.
So Rich will face a 3rd down and about 16 to go from their own 13-yard line. I think it's 17 because they have to get to the 30.
Flint Silva running pretty gingerly off the field right now. Logan Muirbrook is going to come in now for Rich.
Ball in the middle of the field. Rebels attacking right to left on mylocalradio.com. That's south to north here at Rich High School. Muirbrook wide to the right. Rebels with trips on the left side. Huffaker in the shotgun. Brings Grohl in motion. Snap is low. Hislop picks it up and tries to make something out of less than nothing and loses a few back to the 9. That snap was low, and Huffaker just couldn't get a grasp of it. So back to the 9-yard line, a loss of 4. And that's back to the original line of scrimmage of this possession. Rebels will be forced into a punting situation. Trailing 27-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Carter Jackman, who's got, among others, 2 returns of 24 and 36 yards. A high short kick, and it takes a Kanab bounce toward the Kanab sideline out of bounds. Didn't quite even make it past or bounce back beyond behind where the first down marker was. So a short punt, and Kanab will have great field position.
Kanab now a chance to kind of show what they've been showing all afternoon, just kind of have that repetitive doing the right things, just kind of running the ball, not taking a lot of chunk plays, practicing the fundamentals, getting ready for the 2019 campaign.
So Orton up under center. Looks like 2 different guys in the backfield. Blomquist, the wingback on the right side. Rebels showing some pressure up the middle. Orton stops, throws at the feet of his receiver. And Wilson gives that intended receiver, Clay Shakespeare, a big hit in the back as the ball falls at his feet, incomplete.
Riley Taylor with the black helmet cover was blitzing hard, and he actually got into Orton's grill, caused that bad throw.
2nd down and 10 for Kanab's offense. Clock running. Under 5 minutes to go in the town of Randolph third quarter. Wide right, Drew Hafen. Flint Silva on him. Orton takes the snap, gives to Chatterley. Running right, cuts forward, and he's caught from behind by Colton Hislop at about the 23. It looks like they'll spot it at the 22-yard line for a gain of 5.
Good run there by Chatterley. He's kind of, him and Warino have been kind of the guys that have been the go-to men for Sam Orton this afternoon.
Chatterley with 57 rushing yards, Warino with 38. Orton for 3rd and 5. Ball on the right hash. Rebels showing pressure. Orton rolls to his left. Breaks containment. Yes, he gets around the corner to the 20. 1st down and more. Breaks through a tackle, and he's into the end zone. He's caught at the goal line, but he powers through for the touchdown. Sam Orton with a 22-yard touchdown run, and Kanab extends its lead to 33-zip.
Well, in this this quote that Coach Orton gave about his quarterback, Sam Orton, he says that he's as good as anybody in the state at the position when he gets it rolling, and we are seeing him rolling today, Ryan.
Boy, Sam Orton through the air, 5 of 11, but 3 touchdowns, 99 yards, plus 22 yards on the ground and a score. That was a short drive, started at the Rebel 27-yard line, and just 3 plays to go those 27 yards. Kanab lined up to attempt the extra point. Snap is good, kick is up through the uprights, and good. 34-0, Kanab leads on the Station on Main scoreboard. We'll take a quick break here in this Town of Randolph third quarter and be right back.
This is Rich Rebel Senior, Bridger Weston, and you are watching Rich High School football on Rebel Radio and mylocalradio.com.
Established in 1870, Randolph, Utah is home. Home to the rich rebels, to hardy people of high character, and to values of dedication, honesty, hard work, education, and respect for self and others. Randolph is also home to friendly folks who love their families, their town, and their neighbors. Count yourself a neighbor whenever you visit Randolph, Utah. Mayor Lynn Weston and the Town Council of Randolph wish the rich rebels good luck and invite you to visit anytime.
3:50 left here in the third quarter, brought to you by the Town of Randolph. Good luck from the mayor, board members, and clerk. Elections coming up, I think, in the Town of Randolph this fall. They had primaries in August, and I'm such a not political guy. What's the final election called? It's like the actual elections.
It's called the general election.
The general election in
Come
November.
on, Ryan.
I get my mind on football, and then you start talking about elections and politics. I don't know. I'm lost.
Yeah.
Can I give that excuse?
Yeah, that's a very good excuse.
All right. Hislop and Wilson back at their own 10. Carter Jackman to do the kicking duties since Bradley Haycock went down with an injured right foot or leg somewhere in that area earlier in the second quarter. Short kick. Hislop fields it on the run at the 15 to the 20. Hurdles a man across the 35 to the 36. Good return for Hislop, and the Rebels start with decent field position. 15 out to the 35, a 20-yard return. Hislop averaging 20 yards per return today. Rich with a 1st and 10 at its own 35-yard line.
So just an update on Bradley Haycock. We've spotted him on the sideline with ice on his ankle, so he's it's unknown whether he'll make it back or not.
Unlikely. They're going to push him especially with Kanab leading 34-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard.
Game 1 of the season as well.
His team well in control. Jackman can take care of the kicking duties for now. And Rebels in a hole, trailing 34-zip, 3:45 left in the town of Randolph third, and Rich first and 10 on their own 35. Two receivers right. Low snap. Huffaker throws deep over the middle. Silva is there. He's tripped up, or did he just lose his footing? Ball is tipped and picked off. Up the right sideline and knocked out of bounds. Ball came loose after he was out of bounds. Colby Federkill with the interception on the tip drill.
And getting up very slowly is number 15, big Michael Warino. And he's using teammates' help to kind of get back to either the huddle or the sideline. He's walking pretty gingerly right now.
So the Rebels tried to take a shot. Silva, frustrated, shaking his head on this sideline. I didn't see any contact, but I wasn't looking at him. He went down, and I think he feels, at least based on his body language, I think he feels like he was interfered with.
And you and I didn't get a very, very good look at it. It did kind of happen in an awkward area for us. He may have a point, but, the point stands. It's a turnover, so Rich is going to have to get back on defense and hopefully get another stop.
Orton in the shotgun for a 1st and 10 at the Rebel 38. Quick throw out to the left side. And he's got Chatterley, makes the catch, picks his way forward down near the 30, about gain of about 8.
Right now, I think we're going to see a lot of Kanab kind of pull some different stuff out to kind of see how they execute on the field. As you mentioned earlier, they're well within control of this game. 34-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard.
Chatterley with his second reception of the day. He's got a 9-yard touchdown and that 7-yard catch. That puts Sam Morton over 100 passing yards at 106 unofficially. A 2nd down and 3 after that 7-yard gain at the Rebel 31. Two receivers right, and Kanab running some different plays than we've seen today. They're spreading it back out like we've seen Kanab in past years. Two receivers right, two wide left. Orton in the shotgun. Brings a man in motion. Rebels showing some pressure up the middle, and it slows down Blomquist, but he breaks a couple of tackles, gets forward. Flint Silva wraps him up at the 25 and doesn't let go. Progress stopped about the 25-yard line, enough for a 1st down.
We mentioned earlier before the play, I think we may see a lot more things like that. Looking like coming off the field will be Jaden Rao, as he lost his helmet, so he'll come off for the precaution. But, yeah, we'll probably see a little bit more from Kanab. Try to see what they have with some other schemes, as this is a good opportunity for that.
A 1st and 10 after that 6-yard gain. Give other defenses a lot more to think about if you can run spread and have success in what they've done most of this game. Orton again with two receivers left, two right. Starts to look left, then looks right, throws to Browning at the 25. He'll break a tackle down the sideline. Stepped out, I thought, at about the 22-yard line, but they'll give him all the way down to the 13. Boy, from this angle, it looked like his full foot was out of bounds, but a hold will bring it back anyways against Kanab. Just our 3rd penalty of the game. The hold took place at the 22-yard line.
And I believe that's the 2nd one on Kanab out of the 3. The only one on Rich was the costly face mask after the botched punt early in the 1st quarter.
So instead of a little bit pretty close or enough for a 1st down, instead it's 1st down and about 16. Clock running below 2 minutes left in the town of Randolph 3rd quarter. Rebels again showing pressure up the middle. Taylor hits Orton from behind, and not a big hit, but he wraps him up and pushes him down at the 40. The sack will give Kanab a 2nd down and long. They'll spot it at the 37.
And this is the best we've seen the Rich defense all game. They're starting to get pressure in on Orton, and we're also starting to see Kanab try something a little bit different. Rich was ready for it that time.
So a 2nd down, and let's see, the 1st down marker is the 15, so it's 22 yards to go for Kanab after the hold and then a sack. Orton again from the shotgun. Drew Hafen and Luke Browning on the right side. Two receivers left. Chatterley comes in motion. Orton fakes a handoff, then puts his shoulder pads down as Rich pressure comes in, and they'll bring him down for another sack back about the 40.
Number 51, Bridger Weston in on the stop there.
They'll say that Orton's progress was stopped at the 39, a loss of 2. Rebels had not sacked Orton today. In fact, not even close, I don't think. But then 2 sacks on the last 2 plays brings up a 3rd down and about 24.
Justin Adams just checked in for Rich.
15-yard line is the line to gain. Kanab at the Rebel 39. Orton in the shotgun again. 2 right, 2 wide left, 1 in the backfield. Blomquist at his right hip. The snap. Taylor gets pressure. Throw out to the left side. Jackman makes the catch, breaks a tackle, breaks another, and dodges a man. He's down the left sideline. 1 man to beat. Silva hammers him out of bounds, but Jackman with a big run after the catch. That was about a 10-yard gain after when he caught the ball, and then he did the rest of the work.
I mean, great run there by Jackman. As you mentioned, catches it on that far sideline, finds a hole, breaks about 2 or 3 tackles, and these aren't just regular tackles. I saw 28, Colton Hislop. I saw number 20, Kyler Wilson. They all were going after him, and he just got the better of them all at that play.
All the way down to the 12-yard line, a 27-yard gain. That gives Jackman 2 receptions for 36 yards and puts Orton at 133 passing yards on 7 of 13 with 3 touchdowns on the day, plus a rushing touchdown. Orton having himself a nice day to start off the 2019 season. Time running down, 6.1 seconds left in the Town of Randolph third quarter. 1st and goal for Kanab. Orton in the shotgun. Again, the spread set. 2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Chatterley in motion. Orton takes the snap, throws over the middle. Jackman goes up high, pulls it in, and holds on for the touchdown. His 2nd of the day, 40-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Kanab with the monstrous lead. A 12-yard touchdown. Was that a 12 or 7-yard? I think I had my field spot incorrect. So Jackman with his 2nd receiving touchdown of the day. That one for 7 yards. Puts his total at 48 receiving yards on 3 catches. 4th touchdown pass of the day for Sam Orton. Kanab to kick the extra point. The kick is up. It is wide right. Missed off target. 40-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. We'll be right back with more of Rebel football in the 3rd quarter.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Austin Peterson, and you're tuned in to Rich High School Football on KADQ and mylocalradio.com.
It's human nature to think the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. That's not always true, especially when it comes to buying vehicles. This is Dennis Lynch, General Manager at Auto Farm Chevrolet. Dealerships pay the same price for new vehicles across America. The fact is, the best deals are right here, in your own backyard. The difference is that our employees are your neighbors, people you can trust. Please visit us first, Auto Farm Chevrolet. We are your community-driven dealer.
Seven plays, 38 yards, 3 minutes and 31 seconds off the clock. Kanab fails on the extra point attempt, but leads 40-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Now we have to start talking about things that I hate talking about, but all-time biggest losses for the Rebels. They lost to Beaver and South Summit 41-0 in different years, 88 and 87 respectively. Last year, that loss to Westside, 55-0. That tied biggest loss ever. They lost to San Juan in '98, 55-0. So we're not quite in the top 10. But a 4th quarter still remaining. We're at the end of the Town of Randolph 3rd quarter, and Kanab getting set to kick off. And instead of Jackman, it looks like, is that 58? Wyatt Kennedy? Couldn't see the side of the number if it's an 8 or a 0. Wilson fields it at the 19, across the 20 to the 30, 35, wrapped up and brought down about the 37. 18-yard return for Wilson. Takes us to the end of the third quarter, brought to you by the town of Randolph. Good luck from the mayor, board members, and clerk. We'll be back with fourth quarter action right after this.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Austin Peterson, and you're tuned in to Rich High School Football on KADQ and mylocalradio.com.
At beautiful Bear Lake, skiing, snowmobiling, sailing, and swimming are just some of the fun activities offered to recreationists. The Greater Bear Lake Valley offers prime hunting and fishing areas, whether it's trout fishing in the streams or ice fishing for Cisco on the lake, hunting deer or seeking elk along the high mountain ridges. The scenic corner of Utah and Idaho offers outdoor recreation and historical interests away from crowds and high prices. Visit bearlake.org for more information.
Kanab on top big. First game of the season. The Rebels will get back into it next week at Bear Lake. And then the Rebels have a bye Friday, September 6th. They were scheduled to play Altamont, which dropped its football program this year because of not enough participants. I understand a few of those guys, they were allowed the option to go play football or try out for the football team at Duchesne or I think Uinta. And I believe a few of them went and joined the Duchesne football team. But Altamont with no football team, so that left Rich with a bye on September 6th. Trips to the right side, Rebels first and 10 at their own 36. Huffaker looked left, looks back right, and Hislop. Did he hold on for the catch? What a grab by Hislop at the 39.
The man who got the interception earlier, Colby Feder-Kelly, almost got another one. He was the one who laid the hit there on Hislop.
A 2-yard gain. So Huffaker 3 of 7, but for minus 9 yards. One pass to Kyler Wilson went for a loss of 7. Another one to Colton Meek lost 4 yards, and then that completion there for 2. Second down and 8. Out to the 39-yard line. Boy, Hislop with some great hands. Let's throw it to him some more maybe. Huffaker looks to his left. He's got Jaden Grohl, and he's got a group. A herd of Cowboys bring him down. His progress was stopped at about the 32, but a flag flies high in the air. I wonder if this will be a late, like unsportsmanlike type as Kanab continued to tackle Grohl after the whistle.
Rich backing up, so safe to assume it will be that type of after whistle play on Rich.
A personal foul against Kanab.
I stand corrected.
Kanab's third penalty of the day. This one a 15-yard brings it a total of 35 yards in penalties against the Cowboys. Hasn't hurt them. That's not a lot anyways, but they lead 40-0. So that gives the Rebels their second comprehensive dental. Nope, not quite a first down. Third down and 3 at the 44-yard line. Grohl in motion, stops, whistles. Not sure if now the line judge on the far side says false start, but the main official never blew his whistle to start the play. I think that's why Grohl stopped running. I guess we can't expect the officials don't have some jitters to shake out as well today. Maybe we'll pause just 10 seconds for station identification.
You're tuned in to Rich Rebel Sports on KADQ Evanston.
So they waved the flag, and I think it's exactly what we thought. They realized that Grohl had stopped because no whistle had been blown to start the play. Under 11 minutes to go, Grohl goes in motion again, a low snap. Huffaker fields it, spins around, throws. It's tipped up in the air, and luckily for Rich, falls to the turf incomplete.
Flint Silva tried to get in on that play, and he came close to bringing that one down.
So shouldn't this be third down? Because the penalty would have repeated second down, and that was second down. The chain gang says fourth down the yard there. The down marker says fourth. Rich looks like, well, Huffaker, am I wrong? Am I getting lost? Yeah, the Rebels are lined up like they're going to punt. I'm confused. I think we're all lost. We should call a timeout real quick. The Rebels are going to punt it away and miss out on the opportunity to run an extra play. Good snap. Huffaker, another nice high wobbly spiral. Bounces at the 15. They have a chance to down this deep. Silva gets it right on the 1. What a great bounce. He didn't even have to get it. That's where it stopped, at the 1.
Huffaker with a great punt. And this gives Rich something they haven't had all day, and that's pinning Kanab deep in their own territory. I mean, we're talking deep. This quarterback is going to be in the end zone. So if they can get another sack.
Completion to Hislop for 2 yards. Then they threw to Jaden Grohl. It was a personal foul. That maybe it was after the play ended, so they counted that as second down. And then third down was the incompletion, fourth down the punt. 1st and 10 for Kanab at their own. They spot it right at the 1. Boy, that's as good as a punt as you'll see. Some of that takes luck with that oblong ball. But Huffaker got a good foot on it.
And then great hustle there by Silva to be the man to kind of catch it and make sure it stops there and it doesn't go another yard.
Wilson deep as the safety as Orton is under center. Rebels showing some pressure up the middle. Orton throws. It's tipped. Wilson picked it off. He tipped it to himself at the 7. And the Rebels have their second Garden City turnover of the game. Garden City, where families play, Rebels will have a first down inside the 10.
Kyler Wilson showing off those wide receiver hands. He tipped that to himself, and then he held onto it with one hand. I mean, everybody watching on My Local Radio saw it. Those listening on 99.3, I tell you what, it was an amazing play, Ryan. That could be a candidate for the play of the game.
Yeah, you're right about that. The definite top candidate right now for the McKay Frankham Dental Services play of the game. McKay Frankham Dental Care at reasonable rates for the whole family. Rich with excellent field position after forcing that Garden City turnover, the city of Garden City, where families play. Huffaker takes the snap. Pressure comes. Hislop gets away and inside the 5 before he's knocked down after a gain of about 4. Rich starting this drive at deep in Kanab territory. I think they spotted that at the 8.
Now it looks like they're around the 3-yard line after that.
And I want to go back to the interception, and we saw 2 Rebels, the linebackers, cross just before they had that extra pressure, and that forced Orton to throw it in an uncomfortable position and throw it before he wanted to. I think that's a big part of what caused that interception.
That and absolute athleticism by Kyler Wilson. I mean, he made a dive and tipped it to himself and caught it with one hand. Absolutely amazing play there.
Second down and goal for the Rebels at the Kanab 3. Looking for that pro physical therapy touchdown. A low snap. Huffaker fields it, pushes forward, and gets back to about the line of scrimmage at the 3. 3rd and goal.
Number 11, Wyatt Noteman, first one to get to Huffaker and really keep them down there.
No gain for Huffaker, who played a little bit of Xander Bogaerts there. Isn't Xander the shortstop? Scooping that thing up off the ground. Rob loves the Red Sox, the World Series defending champs, but this year, World Series hangover, lasting most of the season 2019. Carrillo wide right. He's a big target. We'll see if the Rebels run or pass here on a 3rd and goal at the 3. Grohl in motion. Fake left, give right to Meek. He's wrapped up immediately, dives back to the line of scrimmage. 4th and goal at the 3. And this offense we're seeing from Rich today, there's at times, like on that play, a lot of misdirection. And I think it's designed, or some of the design is to deceive the defense, and then that may open up a hole or two. And it worked a time or two for Hayden Meek, and we've seen Hislop with some positive yardage, but that time not enough space to pick up any yardage. 4th and goal, and the Rebels looking for their first pro physical therapy touchdown of the season. We'll see if they get it. Could use a Saby Trucking offensive line hole here. Huffaker in the shotgun. Hislop on his right hip. 3 receivers right. Throw over the middle. Intercepted in the end zone. Blomquist right side, and he breaks free. One man to beat. Hayden Meek's got the speed to catch him. Does, but Blomquist spins away from the tackle out across the 45. Finally caught from behind by Justin Adams. Buckwheat makes the touchdown-saving tackle, and the score does not happen. Go ahead.
Clutch defense there by Kanab, absolutely robbing Rich of their best opportunity of the afternoon. And they came to play.
Kanab's second interception of the ball game takes us to a timeout with 6:02 left in the fourth quarter, brought to you by Bear Lake Realty. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Austin Peterson, and you're tuned in to Rich High School Football on KADQ and mylocalradio.com.
If the idea of owning your own home in beautiful Bear Lake sounds like more than your finances can handle, visit the experts at Bear Lake Realty to learn how you can make it happen. Gary and Amber McKee at Bear Lake Realty can show you how to buy a home and rent it out, so it pays for itself while you enjoy it some of the time as well. And soon, you'll have your own place in the Caribbean of the Rockies. No one knows the market better, and no one else serves you better than Bear Lake Realty.
Serving Wyoming since 1941, Plains Tire is Wyoming's oldest and largest tire dealer with great locations throughout the state. They'll get you the right tires and offer the best results for your vehicle at the lowest prices, guaranteed. Plus, you can go to any Plains Tire Pro dealer with their nationwide warranty service. And check out their Plains Tire phone app.
Come down and see us at Plains Tires on 157 Bear River Drive for all your automotive needs. Hablamos también español.
Fourth quarter, midway through, Kanab with the interception back out to the Rebel 47. Give to Jay Seeley, and he gets out to midfield, a 3-yard gain on a give up the middle.
Riker Conk in there on the stop for the Rebels.
No individual for Kanab has rushed for anything exceptional today. We've got Chatterley, the leading rusher, 57 yards. Warino with 38. Blomquist with 45. Seeley with 7. Orton with 22. But you combine all those, and that's a good rushing day for this Kanab offense. Orton, or is this a different quarterback? Yeah, it is a different guy behind center. Gives left side and with nowhere to go. Riker Conk, is that who that was in the backfield?
Believe so. New quarterback is Bracken McQuivy.
Number 9?
Number 9.
Sophomore Bracken McQuivy.
And then Noah McCorvey just checked in. They're getting in. He's a sophomore as well, so it looks like we're going to see a lot of the young talent that Kanab is grooming, and they've got quite a bit. When you look at their rosters, quite a bit of 9s and 10s.
I believe it was Carson Blomquist on the carry. A loss of 1 brings up a 3rd and 8 for this Kanab offense with under 5 to go in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. McQuivy back to throw. He's got a strong arm, whips it out to the left side and knocked away at the last second. Trey Walker of Rich gets a hand up and just knocks it out of the hands of Noah McCorvey.
Man, tell you what, the young quarterback, number 9, Bracken McQuivy, he's got an arm. That was a beautiful pass, nice tight spiral, and it almost landed in his target.
So a 4th down and 9 for Kanab. They'll line up to punt this, well, will they? It was Haycock doing the punting duties, but with Haycock on the sideline, helmet off, ice on his right ankle, looks like we'll have a different guy drop back to punt. That's 69, Justice Waters Tate, left foot on it. It's off a nice spiral punt to the sideline, goes out inside the 20.
Riker Conk almost got a hand on that one for Rich.
So with 3:44 left in this Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter, the Rebels will take over. Inside their own 20-yard line, looking to put a pro physical therapy touchdown on the board. They'll need some comprehensive family dental first downs to get there. Make sure to stay tuned in our postgame show, the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Recap. Postgame show will be brought to you by Epic Recreation, and it also will include the Stacy's Repair postgame diagnostics. We'll talk with Coach Justin Grohl and diagnose today's game, see what the Rebels need to work on and improve on. Rebels from their own 18-yard line, 1st and 10. Again, 3:40. Well, there was 3:44. Our running clock, so we're down under about 3.5. Riley Carrillo in at quarterback for Rich. A low snap from the shotgun. Takes it, throws to his right. Jaden Grohl makes the catch at the 20. Wrapped up, able to pick his way forward. A flag flies in at the 21 as Grohl is brought down right about the 21-yard line. So a short gain. Riley Carrillo's first varsity pass of his career, complete for a gain of 3. Carrillo just a sophomore. He's got some good height and runs the option well. Was told this week by Cooper Cornea, one of the Rebel assistant coaches, that Carrillo really is reading the option well in preseason work.
And that penalty was a face mask on Kanab, so that's going to be an automatic first down for the Rebels.
Another 15 yards. That's Kanab's 4th penalty for 50 yards out to the Rebel 36-yard line, and a comprehensive family dental first down. Carrillo back to throw, lofts one out to the side. Conk bobbles it and catches it at the 40, a gain of 4. So Carrillo starts 2 for 2, just 7 yards. Riker Conk with the catch.
Carrillo only a sophomore, so looks like they have a pretty bright offensive unit here for Rich.
Clock continues to run. Under 3 minutes to go in the Bear Lake Realty 4th quarter. Rebels from their own 40-yard line, ball at the right hash, trailing 40-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Station on Main, how convenient. Moving to the left side is Trey Walker, a freshman. Rebels have trips left. Man coming in motion, Conk. Snap, give up the middle, and some room to run right across the 50. And Jaden Rao to the 47-yard line of Kanab.
Number 3, Aiden Sample, a freshman, makes the stop.
And Rob, tell me if it's Rao, right? Not Rowe. I want to make sure I'm saying that right. A 13-yard gain to the Kanab 47-yard line.
Tell you what, number 22, the new quarterback for Rich, he's quite the physical specimen. He's a big guy. He's got an arm, too, apparently.
That's the biggest positive play of the day for Rich, 13 yards. Carrillo pitches it outside left to Rao. He's hit in the backfield, but second effort gets him almost back to the line of scrimmage. They'll spot it at the 49, loss of 2. Rao with 2 carries for 11 yards. If the Rebels want to put one on the board, they need to show a little more urgency. A minute and a half left to go in the Bear Lake Realty 4th quarter. Hayden Weston heads off the field to take a breather. Rebels at the Kanab 49-yard line. Second down and 12. And the team heads up to the line of scrimmage. Trailing 40-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rao to Carrillo's left side, trips on the right. Low snap, but Carrillo has it. Rolls to his right to get away from pressure. It comes, and he heaves it downfield right into the hands of the defense. And Kaysen Janes, I believe.
Freshman tight end gets the pick, and that'll probably do it for the Rich offense today.
So Kanab takes over with 1:01 left to go. That was the Rebels' best offensive possession of the game. And ends with an interception. Kanab from its own 46 will start this possession. Our 4th quarter is brought to you by Bear Lake Realty, most experienced and highest volume realtor in Bear Lake. Visit bearlakerealty.com to learn more. And they'll actually spot it at the 47-yard line. Kanab with a first down. And again, it is McQuivey under center for the Cowboys for 1st and 10 with under a minute to go. Misdirection, ball's on the turf in the backfield, and dropping on top of it. Looked like that was Colby Fetterkill recovering the fumble. And a loss of a few yards for Kanab, back to the 44-yard line, a loss of 3.
Fun fact, Kanab was the last team to shut out every playoff opponent. They did so in 1986 on their way to the Class 1 state title.
Rich, a few years ago, 2014, won the state title in football and in boys basketball, and I believe Kanab did the same that year that you're talking about. They won the football and boys basketball state championship. Just a few teams have done that in Utah high school history.
In that state championship game, Kanab intercepted 7 passes, tying the championship game record.
McQuivy takes the snap, hands right, nowhere to go, and at the horn, a tackle in the backfield back at the 40, a loss of 4. So a few plays down the stretch that were positive for the Rich Rebels, but an overall tough game today, a 40-0 victory for the Kanab Cowboys at Rich High School. Rich starts the season 0-1. The Cowboys start 1-0. This fourth quarter has been brought to you by Bear Lake Realty. Stay tuned. We've got the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Recap, Epic Recreation postgame show, and the Stacy's Repair interview with Coach Justin Grohl when we return on KADQ.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Austin Peterson, and you're tuned in to Rich High School Football on KADQ and mylocalradio.com.
Super kids deserve super care. Experience the difference with board-certified pediatricians Alan Brown, MD, and Bird Gilmartin, MD, at Uinta Medical Group. Whether it's tracking your child's overall health at Well Child Checks or helping your little ones feel better when they're sick, Dr. Brown and Dr. Gilmartin are here to help your child grow, learn, and thrive. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Brown or Dr. Gilmartin by calling 307-789-WELL 9355 or visit evanstonanytime.com.
Whether you're kicking up dust in the hills, making waves down on the lake, or taking advantage of the world's greatest powder, don't just hope to have fun. Take that sled by the handlebars and make your time at Bear Lake epic. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at beautiful Bear Lake. From watercraft large and small to UTVs, sleds, and more, Epic Recreation has it all to go on-road, off-road, or out on the Caribbean blue water. Book your adventure at epicrecreation.net.
What could be better than a fresh, mouth-watering burger from the Crawford Trough in Randolph? Top it with cheese and thick-cut bacon, or throw in some mushrooms and make it a double. Now we're talking. Add home-cut fries and a creamy shake, and you might just think you're in paradise. With crisp salads and tasty wraps, plus onion rings, perfectly cooked chicken, cold drinks, and silky smooth ice cream, the Crawford Trough is the place to eat and drink at 120 South Main in Randolph.
Back at Rich High School for the Epic Recreation postgame show. And real quick, Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Recap. Jimmy John's, where fresh and fast meat. Gourmet sandwiches, fresh and fast every day at 113 Front Street in Evanston. First game of the 2019 season. Kanab comes in, scores on 4 of their first 5 possessions, and led 27-0 at the half. Scored twice more in the second half. Sam Orton with a very good day, a very efficient day. Finished with 4 passing touchdowns, 145 yards through the air, plus 22 yards and a rushing touchdown on the ground. Trey Chatterley led the Cowboys with 57 rushing yards on 6 carries. Michael Warino had a good day, as did Kyle Blomquist, who had a rushing touchdown as well. Rebel offensive performance has some work to get better, and we'll see what the Rebels come up with as they look forward to the rest of the season. A 40-0 loss against the Kanab Cowboys. That's your Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Recap. Jimmy John's, where fresh and fast meat, gourmet sandwiches, fresh and fast every day. All right, we're going to jump ahead in our post-game show. We'll play the ad in just a bit. Elan, let's grab that microphone. Coach Justin Grohl up here to join us on the post-game show. This segment now brought to you by Stacy's Repair. I've called it the post-game diagnostics. Give us a diagnosis here, mechanic Coach Justin Grohl. A tough loss today.
Yeah, we just had a lot of mistakes. You know, a lot at the start of the game. We hurt ourselves with fumbles, snap over the head. You know, there was several balls that we should have had caught, missed blocks. Just things we got to clean up and get. And then, you know, if we can do that, you know, things will change for us.
We noticed a few little things, and it's particularly in my memory, the first couple of plays, you had big, wide open holes, but one guy from the other side comes in, sneaks past his block, and makes the play, and just negates what everything looked good except one little thing right there.
And that's what it started out with is just one block. We'd miss one block, and then one over the head or trip, or, you know, through the arms, just one little thing, and then after that keeps going to quite a bit, then
the kids are they kind of start hanging their head, and it's hard to keep them going, keep them up.
Kanab on the other side, they came in looking a little more sharp. Sam Orton, who was their starting quarterback last year before he got injured, looked sharp today.
Yeah, they've got a good team. They're really crisp. That they've run that offense for a long time, and it's really hard as a defense. You have to be right there because they got either somebody crossing or somebody pulling every single time, and we tried to get the kids to actually follow behind that, and we did a good job last year, but new year, new players, and to try to teach that, until they get some experience and see that, then they need to, it's just part of the game.
A rough start to the season, no question there. But next week you're at Bear Lake, and we've seen the last few years they've always just been tough. They play very physical.
Yes, yeah, and they're going to be the same way. They're going to get right after it, and they like. When you go to the Idaho schools, they're very physical and they want to beat you up, and that's their style of play. So we'll have to look at things, and I hope to spread them out and play our game, not play their game, but play our game.
Is there any extra emotion for you guys with it being a rivalry, right? North of the lake, south of the lake kind of thing?
We take it as just another football game. It is a rivalry, but you have to basically look at it as, okay, it's another football game. This is going to give us a chance to actually go and prepare for the season, get a few more kinks worked out, and that's the way we're going to approach it. So,
gotcha. Coach, anything else you want to touch on?
No, I think that's it.
Great.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming up. Coach
you.
Justin Grohl of the Rich Rebels, thanks so much. That was the post-game diagnostics brought to you by Stacy's Repair. Need a repair? Take it to the ones who truly care. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff. We'll move along in our Epic Recreation post-game show and be right back.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Austin Peterson, and you're tuned in to Rich High School Football on KADQ and mylocalradio.com.
You rely on your vehicle every day. Make sure your ride gets the best service, repairs, and maintenance possible. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff provides the highest quality, the latest technology, and the newest equipment to give your vehicle the absolute best auto care available. Family owned and operated since 1992, your friends at Stacy's Repair promise to always deliver value and outstanding, honest, and knowledgeable service, regardless of repair size or difficulty. Stacy's Repair, the ones who truly care.
At Ellingford Brothers, we're known for an excellent steel shop and quality cement. We also provide other products all year round. Sand and different sizes of gravel for road base and landscaping in the summer and fall. Traction in the winter and mud control in the spring. Bark for landscaping in the summer and winterization in the fall. And topsoil. Spring, summer, and fall. Prices are always honest. Pickup or delivery. Ellingford Brothers, your year-round source for so many things. Stop in today at 221 County Road in Evanston.
40-0 the final on the Station on Main scoreboard. The Rebels lose to the Cowboys in the first game of the season and have a lot to work on. Again, final score 40-0. The Cowboys improved to 1-0, and Kanab will be, let's see, next week. The Cowboys, what do they do? If I can find the right sheet. They are at home against Gunnison Valley. Rebels hit the road to the north side of the lake in Montpelier to take on Bear Lake next Friday night, 7 p.m. And we'll talk a little bit more about the upcoming schedule here in just a sec. But let's give you some post-game highlights and stats on our Epic Recreation post-game show. The Rebels, this is unofficial, but I know it's pretty close. Rich finished with negative 32 yards of offense in that game. Now, if you look at the two snaps that went over the head of the quarterback, that's negative 38 yards. So that accounted for most of the negative yardage. But still, even if you take that away, Rich had just a few yards of offense. Elan really struggled to move the football.
Yeah, I mean, it also is a credit to the Kanab defense. I mean, Coach Orton said that he wanted his defense to come out this season, be a little bit more aggressive, be a little bit more hard-nosed, and they definitely came out and did that.
On the other side of the football, Kanab offensively, 138 yards through the air. And, check that. I didn't add things up quite right. That was, yes, I did. 138 yards through the air and 163 on the ground. There wasn't one guy that really stood out rushing the ball, but it was running back or rushing yards by committee. Kyle Blomquist with 45, Trey Chatterley with 57, Michael Warino with 38, Sam Orton 22. You combine all those together, 163 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Sam Orton threw a late pick, but prior to that, a very good day. 8 of 15 is what he finished with 4 touchdown passes and 145 yards with the 1 interception.
Well, and a lot of the questions coming into this game was, what was Sam Orton going to do? He really didn't get a chance to show what he was capable of last season, getting hurt by breaking his finger early in the season, having them resort to going to another quarterback. And who knows, the season could have been completely different for Kanab had that not happened. But Sam came out and answered all those questions that he's ready to roll for 2019.
Definitely did. Yeah, you hit that right on the nose. Answered the questions. Well, this has been your some postgame highlights and stats. We're going to keep our Epic Recreation postgame show going. The Rebel Sports Update. We'll talk with Rebel volleyball coach Wendy Lamborn when we return.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Austin Peterson, and you're tuned in to Rich High School Football on KADQ and mylocalradio.com.
Whether you're kicking up dust in the hills, making waves down on the lake, or taking advantage of the world's greatest powder, don't just hope to have fun. Take that sled by the handlebars and make your time at Bear Lake epic. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at beautiful Bear Lake. From watercraft large and small to UTVs, sleds, and more, Epic Recreation has it all to go on-road, off-road, or out on the Caribbean blue water. Book your adventure at epicrecreation.net.
If the idea of owning your own home in beautiful Bear Lake sounds like more than your finances can handle, visit the experts at Bear Lake Realty to learn how you can make it happen. Gary and Amber McKee at Bear Lake Realty can show you how to buy a home and rent it out, so it pays for itself while you enjoy it some of the time as well. And soon, you'll have your own place in the Caribbean of the Rockies. No one knows the market better, and no one else serves you better than Bear Lake Realty.
Whether you're kicking up dust in the hills, making waves down on the lake, or taking advantage of the world's greatest powder, don't just hope to have fun. Take that sled by the handlebars and make your time at Bear Lake epic. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at beautiful Bear Lake. From watercraft large and small to UTVs, sleds, and more, Epic Recreation has it all to go on-road, off-road, or out on the Caribbean blue water. Book your adventure at epicrecreation.net.
Ryan Steineckert with Wendy Lamborn, head coach of the Rich Rebel volleyball team. Coach, good to catch up with you now that the change has been made and your season's underway.
It's going to be an awesome season. I'm super excited to be part of this program as a head coach.
Let's recap last year a little bit first, and what you remember, what a fourth place finish at state lost to Intermountain Christian in the third and fourth place match.
Last year was a little tough, but I thought we did all right. We did well. I'm looking forward to this year and this new group of girls. I think they're on board and ready to. One of their goals this year is to be champs, so it's a good goal.
4 seniors this year, and all of them were big contributors last year. You've got some good experience coming back.
Yes, we do. We have some awesome seniors. All 4 will be starting for us, so that's good to have as 4, and they're great leaders to go with it. So I'm looking forward to working with all 4 of those seniors. They'll all 4 be really tough.
You got a little bit of something that you can't coach, and that's height, right? You got some of that.
Correct. We definitely are pretty equal when it comes to height. But I'm hoping, we've been working on a lot of stuff this summer, to play big, to be bigger, and to hit harder, and to make up for our size, because we definitely are not tall.
Now, there's some, I don't want to do a whole lot of this, but there's always going to be some comparison, right? Coach Stewart and the legacy she did, all the winning. How much do you change to fit your coaching style and the girls you have now versus what Coach Stewart did and had so much success with?
There is not going to be a better coach than Coach Stewart. She spent 30 years of pure dedication, absolutely phenomenal lady, love her to death. And it's awesome because I grew up learning exactly like Coach taught, and then I was able to be under her for 5 years to be able to learn coaching. I won't change a lot. There's not a lot I'm changing. I do hope that they talk a lot more this year, but as far as skills, they've learned from the get-go. They've learned their foundations are great. They've learned just exactly what they needed to learn, which made my job really easy this year. So coach is great, and we're not changing much. Our warm-ups, our drills, everything is pretty much the same, which is also nice because they know what they're doing. They come in and they know what they're doing. So I'm not changing a whole lot. I think they wished I would have changed a few things like the 5K and the double jumps, but I didn't, so we're still rolling with it.
They can start practice and we can sit here and talk, and they know what is expected of them.
That's right. They just come in. They know exactly what's expected. They do it. We do have a no ball drop rule this year that if any ball drops for any reason, I will take a nice, good, solid kill, and they maybe won't have to go for that. But if there's any ball for any reason, there's 2 whistles and everybody hits the floor, and they know what that means. 2 whistles, which Coach Stewart did not have a whistle. So I have changed. I have a whistle, and they're starting to pick it up and realize that we will go for every ball. We are going back to the scrappy little play like Rich team like we used to be. That's my goal, is I want the defense to be spectacular. And when you're not super tall on the front row, you better know how to play defense. So it's a no ball drop rule in the gym, and they're buying into it. They don't have much choice, but they're buying into it.
Your season first match is actually next week, so what's the big focus this week in practice without any matches?
Definitely getting rotations down, getting some things down that I'm really actually not super comfortable with as a coach, so I'm practicing just as much as they are, really. We're going to play Ridgeline. I think it'll be a real fun game to be able to play a game before we actually go to the Cokeville tournament. Cokeville tournament always seems to throw us for a loop, so I'm hoping maybe that's the breaker to play that game first. And they're just playing solid. They have worked hard, and they had some hard conditioning last week. And I think they'll be ready for it. It'll be fun.
Anything else you want to touch on, Coach?
I'm looking forward to a fun year. I got a good group of girls that they're going right along with me. And I don't have any difficult, and it's going to be fun. Got a great group of freshmen coming up, so they'll also be real fun to watch. And saw the JV. It's going to be a fun year, so looking forward to it.
Coach Wendy Lamborn of the Rich Rebels, thanks so much for your time, and good luck this season.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Ryan.
Well, thanks, Coach Lamborn. Now, we'll hear a little bit more about how the Rebels will start their season when we return on the Epic Recreation postgame show. We'll look ahead at what's coming up for the next week when we return on Rebel Football.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Austin Peterson, and you're tuned in to Rich High School Football on KADQ and mylocalradio.com.
If the idea of owning your own home in beautiful Bear Lake sounds like more than your finances can handle, visit the experts at Bear Lake Realty to learn how you can make it happen. Gary and Amber McKee at Bear Lake Realty can show you how to buy a home and rent it out, so it pays for itself while you enjoy it some of the time as well. And soon, you'll have your own place in the Caribbean of the Rockies. No one knows the market better, and no one else serves you better than Bear Lake Realty.
Whether you're kicking up dust in the hills, making waves down on the lake, or taking advantage of the world's greatest powder, don't just hope to have fun. Take that sled by the handlebars and make your time at Bear Lake epic. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at beautiful Bear Lake. From watercraft large and small to UTVs, sleds, and more, Epic Recreation has it all to go on-road, off-road, or out on the Caribbean blue water. Book your adventure at epicrecreation.net.
40-0, the final score. I believe, the worst loss, opening day loss in Rebel football history. Started playing officially for the UHSA in 1985. 40-0 loss to Kanab this afternoon on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels will get back at it next Friday at Bear Lake. JV's at 4, varsity at 7 o'clock. Our pregame will be at 6:15. But there's something coming up before that. We'll tell you about the Rebel volleyball season opener in a moment. Tomorrow, the Rich Rodeo Club is at the Uinta Basin Rodeo in Vernal. Right now, they're competing in their own rodeo there in Vernal, Utah. Tomorrow, they begin at 9 a.m. Monday, Southridge Elementary Kindergarten begins. Then next Thursday, the Rebel volleyball team has its season opener at 4A Ridgeline. They'll take on the Riverhawks in Cache Valley. There's a freshman-sophomore match at 5:45. JV will also play at that same time in a separate gym, 5:45. And the varsity at 7 p.m. We'll broadcast the match right here on My Local Radio with a pregame at 6:40 next Thursday night. And then we get things going bright and early the next morning as Rich plays at Cokeville, the Cokeville tournament. They'll take on the Evanston Red Devils to start things off. Elon?
Yeah, it should be a really good game. And we've talked with Coach Tara Lawler this morning, and she's excited for it. It should be a good matchup. I mean, we've opened the season against you guys volleyball-wise, I believe, for the last 7 years. So it's going to be really fun also to kind of open up that new era of Windy Lamborn volleyball here at Rich.
So that is scheduled. And again, with the Cokeville tournament, they do it 2 sets of JV volleyball, and then the varsity has a little time to warm up and starts their match. So the JV starts at 8 o'clock, Rich versus Evanston, a week from today. And you can tune in on KADQ and mylocalradio.com, also on KNYN 99.1 FM for Elan's broadcast. That's next Friday. Probably will go on air at about 8:40 next Friday morning. And then, Rich, so that's Rich versus Evanston. The Rebels that same day will also take on Mountain View at 1 p.m. Again, that's a JV start time, so varsity a little bit after that. The Rebel varsity team will also take on Preston next Friday night at 8:30 p.m. is the scheduled start time. We won't likely broadcast that match because we'll be carrying Rebel football at Bear Lake next Friday. And then Saturday, the Rebel volleyball team will continue play at that Cokeville tournament. So we'll carry the Evanston versus Rich, the Rich versus Mountain View, and then all the matches that Rich plays on Saturday. Also next Saturday, the Rebel volleyball freshman volleyball team will be at the Evanston freshman tournament, and the Wyoming Cowboys kick off their football season versus Missouri. The Missouri will be in town, the Tigers, at War Memorial Stadium with a 5:30 p.m. kickoff next Saturday. That takes us through the next week and the end of our Epic Recreation postgame show. Elon, thanks so much for joining me.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
That wraps up our Epic Recreation postgame show. Make your vacation an epic one to remember for all your rentals, whether it's in the summer on the lake or in the winter up in the mountains. Visit epicrecreation.net. For today's videographer, Rob Leifson, our producer back in the studio, Preston Bush, I'm Ryan Steineckert, and we'll talk with you again soon.
You've been tuned in to Rich High School football on Rebel Radio KADQ FM 98.3 with video streaming live online at mylocalradio.com. Today's game has been brought to you by Auto Farm Chevrolet, Evanston Regional Hospital, by Plains Tire, the Come On In of Casper, by Westar Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, Cache Honda Yamaha of Cache Valley, by the Bear Lake Convention and Visitors Bureau, and by mylocalradio.com. The proceeding has been a wholly owned production of mylocalradio.com and Cook Brothers Broadcasting, no portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Old West Media. Our executive producer is Val Cook. We thank our office manager, Kayleen Anderson, and our sales manager, Julie Burley, along with Evanston's ELAN OLLIFF, the Valley's Jake Hibbard, and production assistants Preston Bush and A.J. Lamb. The biggest thanks of all goes to our sponsors and to you for tuning in. We invite you to visit mylocalradio.com for archived games and past interviews with Rebel players and coaches, and like My Local Radio on Facebook to stay up to date with the games. Thank you for joining us on this presentation of Rich Rebel Sports on KADQ FM 98.3 and mylocalradio.com. Until next time, go Rebels!